supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jacks. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Ayy, winning like I ought to. I ain't wanna do it, but I got to. Smoking what my doctor told me not to. Got these wishing they was hot too. Ballin' like I need to. Got my exes wishing for a redo. Smell the marijuana when I speed through. Hit her with a tip, that's a preview. Hold up, wait up, get your weight up. Shit, get your money, not your hater. Boy, draw a play up. I flip my wrist, a layup. She wanna lay up. I gotta get it, I'ma stay up. I'm all the way up. I got my pay up. I ain't playing with you. I'm a coach now. Commentating, do the most now. I be somewhere booted with my toes down. Made little baby tooted with her nose down. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
Showtime! Now he is. So it looks like we're getting one of those rare peeks into Darius Cooks actually telling some truths about how he is a internet influencer who is able to continue his raft of predatory practices and scamming and sociopathic behavior. And in this recent clip that I grabbed, Darius finally admits some of this publicly. And he has a warning for any of you who may choose to attempt to speak truth to his predatory practices.
And for everybody else who's on the outside looking in, feeling like you, I don't know, want to go up against me, want to challenge me, don't. I don't have anything to lose, right?
And he tells you right there that one of the reasons you would never want to come against him and speak any truths about being wrongfully treated or scammed or expose any of his negative predatory behavior towards you, he's letting you know that he has nothing to lose, which basically means he's morally bankrupt. But let's continue.
Once your name is trashed on a national level, you know, Forbes and Black Enterprise, that's it. What else can you do? You've done it all.
And he also goes on to finally admit that his brand and his name is really officially trash at a national level, which means that he's fully aware that he's been relegated to scamming his same DHAGs repeatedly. Because the mass public definitely has the common sense and critical thinking skills that it takes to know a scammer from the fruits that they bear, or the lack thereof in this case.
So I have nothing to lose and the world to gain.
And he also confirms what I've said and many others have, that all he cares about is worldly gains and not his followers or having a good heart or being a person that is purpose-driven for leaving this world better than he found it. He's letting us know that he only uses the Christianity and Baptist Church Act to indoctrinate his blind following of DHAGs to get their hard-earned money by overcharging them for the cheap goods he gets from the Alibaba.com website, where he marks up those products 200 to 400% above his cost.
So I'm at a really great advantage point. So I'm just saying, like, you got to be very careful when you do that kind of out here on the internet. And it doesn't go away, man.
And he admits that he's aware that his actions on the internet have not gone away, meaning the documented proof of his decades plus of scamming and predatory practices that continues to present day is receding all over these internet streets. And of course, I'll continue to share those with you, so definitely hit that follow button.
Like the actions you do on the internet, somebody's screen recording that, somebody watching that, you know?
And he is very correct. There is always someone screen recording and watching to continue to expose this horrible internet predator. What's up, good Vipo? Let me know that you can hear me by typing in the chat either happy 420 if you're into that sort of thing, or he made it because I almost it looked like at the last minute so much was happening that I wasn't sure. Well, I knew I was gonna persevere, but I don't know if any of you, and this is TMI, I'm gonna give you a heads up. Thank you everyone for letting me know. Let me see. We got his MJ and Lawanda and Joel and Linda, and it's going so fast, y'all, I can't keep up. But Monique and Deborah and Chocolate and Miss and everybody else. It's too fast. But yeah, I had to push us back like 30 additional minutes because like 45, I was already rushing and trying to pull together all this stuff for y'all. And 45 minutes before I was supposed to, it was getting down to the wire. I don't know if any of y'all have had, impromptu bubble guts. And you're like, where did this come from? I'm like, what the hell? So I had no choice. At a certain point, I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna make it. Or I'm gonna just be on here like, I ain't got nothing ready for y'all. So happy birthday. Is that Frame? Put these on. Y'all know I ain't no good without these. I don't even know why I even started without them. Yeah, happy birthday, Fame. And anybody else, it's still Aries. No, is it? Yeah, today's the last day tomorrow's the last day for Aries season, I think. But happy birthday to anyone who is celebrating, who is an Aries, my fellow Aries. We make the world a better place, and we make it entertaining at the same time. But tonight we have quite a bit to go over again. We have tonight we're going to talk about Jonathan. My stuff is a little unorganized just because I could not. Yeah, I didn't have enough time, y'all. I still was rushing, but we have Jonathan Majors, who of course is in the news for being called out for being abusive and all of that. And so we're going to go over that quick little story. Then we have the unfortunate story of the young lady who was, again, all of these shootings. But we have the young lady who was shot from pulling in the wrong driveway and take, unalived. Who was that? I think that was Donna. I can't remember who recommended that I do a little cheat list of all the words I can use. And I'm like, that's a good idea. I'm just have it right here on my desk, right in front of the screen. So I can just glance down like, oh, I can say this instead. But anyway, we have that. And then the story of a little 6-year-old girl who was also palled by her neighbor because her ball went over in their yard. Craziness. This is getting ridiculous out there. And then we have also, what you see in the title, it's a little clickbaitish, just have to admit it. We have, and it's not in here, but we have Andrew Caldwell and then Darius Cooks and their, interaction. And Andrew Caldwell, actually, there's an update on him as well. So I'll be going over that. Okay, I at least have this image of him. I just forgot to pull the other one in. But yeah, so we're gonna get started with that. We had a ball last night for any of you who were in the chat or just watching last night. We had a 3.5-hour live stream, and you were introduced to my special surprise guest host. My alter ego introduced himself last night. His name, he allowed me to be able to tell you his name. We had a conversation about it last night, and he was like, you can formally introduce me. And so we do know of Juanito, who was dragging Darius Cooks for filth. And my alter ego has a similar name, actually, and his name is Velnito. Velnito has been trying to partner with me, in this work that we do with the live streams and exposing Darius Cooks and all of that for the past couple years. And last night, because I was tired, I didn't share with you guys that I hadn't had a nap, and so I was tired. And so the second half of the show, where it was time for the Darius Cooks content, since Velnito also knows Darius Cooks personally, or knew him personally, and knew he was a predator and all of that, I was like, what, go ahead and take over, go on, because we got to get this information out to the peoples, to the Veples. And so Velnito had took over, and so now we're in talks, we're in negotiation about him maybe permanently taking over the Darius Cooks segments. The pre-recorded videos, I'll probably still do those, because we want to have our content be at different levels. Sometimes you got to keep it real clean for the masses, and other times you can get real gutter. And so Velnito, he's from the streets, he from the west side of Chicago. He a little uncouth. I've known him all my life, though. We grew up together and stuff, but he's a little uncouth. He don't care about cursing and all that. I was on him about that. I said, dude, I got this channel, and you can't be, using all those curse words. That was the only thing. But other than that, I think the content was pretty, was good. But y'all let me know what you think about it, because I'm in negotiation with Velnito, and if you guys approve, then Velnito, he'll do a little work with me here or there. He'll maybe take over the Darius Cooks segments in the live streams. Again, I'll be doing the research, providing him with the information so we make sure it's correct. Doesn't mean it's gonna all of a sudden not be correct information or speculation. No, it's still going to be very factual, but his delivery is just a little looser than me. Y'all know I get uptight. I'm more filtered. I'm always thinking about the future brand deals and where this channel is going, and all of that's still going to eventually really be moving over to our Reality Chronicles channel. Right now, we're doing both. It's kind of like when a company merges, like T-Mobile and Sprint, when they merge for a while, you know, they keep the name, they keep both names for a while, and then eventually they just split off. That's what we're doing right now with the Velby Reacts and the Reality Chronicles channel. So right now they're still associated. After a while, you know, stranger won't know. But yeah, so let me know what y'all think in the comments section about Velnito. He is scheduled to come this evening, so we'll see if he shows up. I had pushed back, so I hope it still fits into his schedule. I think he good though. He good because he's been holding all that stuff back so long. He like, I'm ready when you ready. Like, bro, I've been waiting. So I'm like, okay, Velnito. So anyway, before we get into that, the shenanigans with Velnito, we have the story of John. Well, just a little update on Jonathan Majors. And this is a story that I haven't really followed closely, and I haven't talked about it publicly at all with you guys and put any videos out on it. However, for those of you who may not know, Jonathan Majors is a major actor. He was on the rise. He has been in the movie Creed. He was slated to actually join Marvel Studios for the new Avengers movie. So he had an incident in, I think it was March, late March maybe, with a girlfriend of his, and it became violent. Police were called. He got arrested for domestic violence, etc. So they're now saying the update on all of that is that he is saying that she's admitted that she has mental health issues and all of that. She's a Caucasian lady, just for those of you who may want to know those details. She has mental health issues, and then his attorney submitted to the press supposedly a text message exchanges from her stating that she wasn't pressing charges, etc. And, you know, she was not down with him getting any charges pressed against him. So now his attorney, as of today, the update was they're saying they have a litany of proof that he's not guilty. This didn't, you know, he's not abuser and all of these other things. And so, however, the state's attorney is saying that they actually have a list of other ladies who have now come out. So we'll see how that goes. That's just the gist of it. Like, again, a story I haven't followed closely, so I'll dig a little deeper and either we'll talk about it in a live or or I'll do a little deep dive video on it. So the other story it's related to what we're seeing now. Is it really looks like, as I put in our title, it looks like our teenagers are literally being hunted. Our youth, the next generation, the ones who will be running this world when we, are in our retirement years, etc. It looks like they're just being hunted. In the past week, we have had now Ralph Euro. I'm sorry, I didn't put everybody's name down. But we had the cheerleader we spoke about on yesterday who was, and these are all incidents of like mistakes. And so Ralph, who mistakenly rang the doorbell of the 83-year-old Caucasian man who just shot through his storm door without even saying a word to Ralph about him being like, what do you want? Why are you here? Then we had the teenage cheerleader who accidentally got in or her friend. I haven't clarified in my mind, like studied the story well enough. I don't know if it's her or her friend, but the group she was with, someone got in the car, a wrong car, and there happened to be a guy in the car. They get out immediately. They get in their car. They apologize. They're rolling down their window to apologize because the guy then gets out his car. He then shoots her and her friend, shoots her. And so it was multiple shots because she got shot in the back and the arm. and her friend got grazed. Then we have the story today that I'm sharing is this young lady. She was 20 years old, and Cynthia Pearson, 20 years old. She was in a rural area in upstate New York, and she was with some friends, and they were looking for a friend's house because it was a rural area with dirt roads and all of that. They said that it's easy to get lost out there, and they did get lost. They pull into the driveway of a home that was not their friend's home. They realize it, and as they're getting ready to leave, this guy comes out with a gun and shoots at the car twice and ends up unfortunately hitting her. They pull out, and they then have to drive, and they had no cell signal as well because it was so far out. So they said they had to drive about 5 miles before they could get the cell phones to reach the tower so they could call 911. 911, met them where they were, the emergency met them where they were, and unfortunately she did not make it. Craziness. Again, a mistake. And no words were spoken. There was no interaction between him and them whatsoever. Craziness. Who just starts shooting? And then we have the unfortunate story of the 6-year-old little girl who was playing ball. Her ball went into the neighbor's yard. The neighbor then comes out and fires at her father, and her mother. And she got grazed in the face. You can kind of see it a little bit. I didn't think to put a bigger picture here. But in the cheek, you see the scar. So she had to get, that's from a bullet. She had to get stitches for that. And her father is still in the hospital recovering from his injuries. And I think they said I can't remember if they said the mom got grazed or not. Y'all let me know in the chat. I'm handling the chat by myself, so it's gonna take me a while. I can see it on YouTube on this other screen, but I can't really click on them and do everything I'm doing. So, but I'll get to the comments in a second. And so the neighbor who committed this heinous act was on the run. And I don't even know why you're running, because you left your house. Like, this ain't no random thing. They know you were the neighbor. They know your name. They know your address, your car, all of that. And so anyway, he went on a run, and there was a manhunt out for him. FBI and the U.S. Marshals and everything else. And what I just saw literally as I was getting ready to go live with y'all is that they did capture the alleged perpetrator of this heinous act. So yeah, that's that on that. So it's a lot though, y'all. It's like we're constantly it's just weird. Yeah, exactly. Sweet Diva, like, what is the world coming to? Just in a matter, I mean, and we know these are the stories that made the news. This ain't all that's happening. These are the stories that made the news. And when you look, it's starting to show that there's a huge problem that we have in this country. And it's not isolated. They used to want to always blame the melanated people for all the violence and all of that. But it's clear that too many people have weapons who aren't mentally mature enough to have, or well enough to be able to safely handle deadly weapons. It's crazy. After my grandchildren's generation is probably going to be doomed. Yeah, I don't even think it's just a wrap. And not in a funny way, but in a truthful way. Let me see. Yeah, I heard. Oh, thank you for this, Renee. As you just reminded me too, another piece of the story about the young lady, the 20-year-old, is that they said that once the police got involved in all of that, police went to his house to confront him about the situation, and he I guess I didn't read this part about no remorse, but he had a standoff with the police at his house. I think they said for about an hour, and then eventually, they were able to arrest him. So now he is in jail. Okay. We said that and saying, yeah. Sad and sweet, yeah. Yeah, and I see some other topics. My rule of thumb moving forward with topics that are off topic, like I know there's so much happening, and there's like, oh, but did you hear about this? And did you hear about that? I'm okay with that being in the chat, but I won't address it during the live stream because of the fact that it then throws off the topic. But if I see, because I do always rewatch the live streams to see all the comments that I miss. If I see things that are interesting, like topics, then I'll potentially add it into a future live stream. So just so you know, but if you're talking, I know y'all talk amongst yourselves. Like there's a show within the show. I'm very aware of that. There's the show I'm doing here, but then there's also the show that is occurring in the chat, and I'm totally okay with that. So just so you know, moving forward, unnecessary. Yeah, people are trigger happy for sure. Okay, so. Okay, so just because I'm not trying to hold y'all 3 hours today, yeah, because it's hard for me to like pinpoint. I have to pre-read the comments. Okay, it looks like I made it to the bottom, but Old Soul is saying the criminals are armed better than the police. Make it make sense. Yeah. I agree. So the next topic is brother Andrew Caldwell needs our prayers. I'm looking for it. Where is it? Right here. He posted on his Instagram informing that his followers that he was no longer going to be with us for the next 24 hours. Because he was having a routine procedure, and the fact that it looks like some kind of like condolences or like looks like an announcement for a funeral or something. Like, oh God, he's gone. And so as I'm scrolling through my Instagram, I'm like, wait, like, let me wait, what's happening here? I did have one of our people. Because I posted I was doing a video months ago or whatever, and I did something where they noticed that I was following Andrew Caldwell, and they were like, "Why are you following him?" Blah blah blah, kind of like finger pointing, like, "Why would you be following him?" And I'm like, I don't even know if I got around to replying to them, but I'm like, they don't understand what us bloggers do. You follow everybody for things like this. This is exactly. Am I a fan? No. Do I follow him because he's content? Absolutely, because of moments like this, and you never know when they're going to happen. Hey, Andrew. So anyway, in his post, he says, Mr. Caldwell is asking for your prayers and privacy as he recovers from a routine procedure. He is asking that you hold all calls, messenger calls, and inboxes. For items that require immediate attention, please email his management team, and a member will contact you within 24 hours. Thank you. And then he gives the email address, which is his email address. So when I saw it, I was like, I got to see what these comments are saying. I didn't get a chance to pull them into this live stream, but I'm going to read them because they're right here in front of me. So one person says, boy, I thought you done died. Lord Jesus, change this layout, please. And then this one here. This one says, you made this post yourself. Talking about management. LOL. Always get well soon. And then somebody said, no, for real, that's his email. Like, what you talking about email the team? And then this person says, why is this being posted if it's a routine procedure? LOL. And somebody else replies, attention. And then another person replies, he thinks he's Jamie Foxx. Because y'all know, unfortunately, Jamie Foxx is recovering from his emergency situation. But Jamie Foxx is actually in the hospital. It's actually something that's legitimate. And then another person says, the faded pic wasn't necessary. Because it is like, why is the pic? It's almost like you're going to glory. He's fading. He's fading out of existence. What is happening here? Another person says, it's prom season. Well, no, they say it's prom season. Let Drew live out his youth in peace. Like it's a prom picture. It does look very prom picture-esque. Okay, then two more after this one. Then this person says, oh, you getting a mommy makeover, tummy tuck and lipo, get well soon. And then another person, this is a girl who she says, baby, finna come back snatch hunty. And then the last one is, I'm not loving this post because why did he do this to us? LOL. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And then I literally kept reading out loud. Nah, man, nah. Sending prayers up for you, bro, as always, as I always do. Looking forward to your testimony. Testimony about what? He probably had his teeth cleaned. Andrew is, this is why I follow him, though. This is why I follow Andrew. And I will continue. So if y'all ever see anything, if I'm sharing something and because people, I know this, I've been on the internet long enough to know y'all always looking beyond what you're supposed to be looking at. That's why I got a green screen up right now, because I want you in my business. But if you ever see something I post and you can see who I'm following, and it's like, ooh, why he following Trump? It would be, I'm definitely not following Trump. But if I were, it would be because I'm being nosy so I can give y'all content. Just know that. That's how all of us bloggers, that's what we do. And we follow from our burner accounts too. So if Andrew decides he wants to block me because I just did this, I have other accounts that I'll follow him also. Because we have to do that too. It's just the world. I've learned the ropes. Darius taught me real quick. Like working with a scammer and a stunt queen running roots, you learn real quick. It was a crash course. Thank you, Darius, though. That was very helpful. Caught me up to speed real quick. It's almost like I've had the decade-long experience you've had scamming. It's like you gave me a crash course, and I feel like I've been doing this a decade, just exposing the scammer, because you taught me so much along the way with all your stunts and tricks. Anyway, so this story inspired, the Andrew Caldwell. When I saw this, I said, I know what we talking about. I text Juanito, and I was like, I think I got a topic for you tonight. And he was like, what's up? What is it? And I said, I was just on, saw a post from Andrew Caldwell, doing his stunts and tricks like he do too. He got a whole background too. We'll talk about that one day. But anyway, and so I was telling Juanito, what we could potentially talk about. And I was like, it's right in line with this. And what it is actually the time that Darius Crooks got into it with Andrew Caldwell, because Andrew Caldwell called him out. And y'all know I did this story. Well, depending on how long you've been with us, you will know that I did a full-on reaction video. It was pre-recorded, but I did a reaction video to their interaction. So Andrew, so the background on the story, for those of you who aren't familiar, and the truth is, since I've done the story, I learned more about the details of it. I feel like my chair keeps sliding me back over the other way. And so, yeah, I've learned more. So here's the background. So and I'm going to play the actual, we're going to do a reaction. I'm sorry. I'm going to step away after the break. And Juanito, he just walked in. So Juanito is then going to take over and give y'all the story and give the reaction. He's going to do the reaction. So we're going to see how this is going. Y'all let me know, how we Juanito does, because I want to still keep the same level of content that you guys have become accustomed to. and better, you know, because we grow over here. Any of you who've been around a long time, y'all know we've come a long way in a very short amount of time. But anyway, so Darius ended up originally connecting with Andrew virtually one day while Andrew was on Instagram Live. So like everyone else, you know, influencers who are on Instagram and stuff, they go live to interact with their followers, and that's how you build more followers, etc. And so Andrew, he used to go live I don't see it as much, but he used to go live a ton, and he would be cooking and walking his neighborhood and all of that other stuff. So one day Andrew was on live in his kitchen, and he was cooking dinner, and he was trying to make rice, but he didn't know how. And so his audience was trying to give him instructions. And in his audience was also some D-hags, the D-hags. And they was like, ooh, somebody want cooking instructions. Let's go to our leader and ask our leader to join the live and tell Andrew how to make rice. And so Darius Cooks, the Predator, seeing that as an opportunity to potentially gain more followers. Now, if this had been a small influencer, you know, somebody with 1,000 or something followers, ain't no way he would have acted like they didn't exist. But we're talking about Andrew Caldwell, who, I don't know, on Instagram, he got, a couple 100,000 followers. And also he is a public figure, like on whatever level you want to consider it. When he does certain things, it does trend in the internet streets. Darius Cooks is very aware of this because he does study social media. So this was like an opportunity he needed to jump on. So Darius Cooks then joins Andrew's live and then walks him through how to make rice. And they interacted from there. But that was the extent of their relationship, so to speak. They weren't friends. They met online through that situation, and I don't think they ever communicated after that. It was just through that. And I don't have that footage or anything, but from what I hear was, entertaining and all this other stuff. Because you got Andrew, who is entertaining for all the wrong reasons. And then you have Darius Cooks, who's charismatic and entertaining for all the wrong reasons. So together, it was an explosion of, all the wrong reasons. But anyway, so fast forward a couple months, Andrew has gone live again. And at this point, he's gone live for a different reason, because Darius Cooks is now in the news. This is when everything started to blow up, and he's in Black Enterprise, and just all the stuff about him is coming out in the media, in the public. Everybody is now knowing of him as a scammer. Like, you say Darius Cooks and people instantly think of scammer. And that's the Darius I knew. So for those of you who may not, because I know there's a narrative that he tries to spin, like there's somebody who I was, heard about them no longer being in my life, and supposedly I'm some scorned ex-boyfriend who was in love with him still, even though I dumped him 20 years ago, and then was friends with him for 10 years after I dumped him. But I'm supposed to be like scorned and in love, and that's what he looked like. Actually, yeah, he looked like that. Yeah, that's about how he looked. He got bigger after even that, but that's how he looked. So that's what I'm supposed to be in love with. And we could talk, I leave my personal life separate, so I ain't telling my business, but I'm good. Anyway, I think I like this picture better anyway. But anyway, so Andrew is on his live, and he is now himself dragging Darius, because after his interaction with Darius on his live stream making the rice, his followers started to think that he had associations with Darius, like they were real friends. And people get confused because they tend to think that some of us social media influencers are closer than we are, because of the fact that we might interact on some level, or they see us on camera together or something like that. And that's just not how it works. It's business. It's business. And people use other influencers to grow their platform. So they may connect or appear to connect or be close to or take a picture with somebody just so you think they friends and be like, oh, I like them too. I'm finna follow them because they friends. Oh, I like this connection. Yeah, that most of the times it's smoke and mirrors. Just like the whole Corey, a bartender situation that we were talking about on yesterday, where Corey is trying to attach himself to the scammer and the predator that we know as Darius Cooks, so that he can grow his brand. That's just how, that's the realness of how it really works behind the scenes here. Y'all know I don't mind. Cloud chasing, right? Trikeisha, that's what we call it. Cloud chasing. So anyway, so Andrew Caldwell, and I am aware, I'm not sure if people are saying it out here in the comments because I can't multitask like that. I ain't that good. But I do know that there are allegations about him and him having some of that stuff going on with his followers. I haven't followed close enough to see it myself, but I have heard it for the longest. So if you're saying that in the chat, it's kind of like, who, what nerve he got calling him out kind of thing. I understand. I am aware. I'll put it that way. I'm aware. Anyway, nevertheless, he called out Darius Cooks. He's on his live. Darius gets wind of it because, again, the hags are everywhere. They're in this chat now. They're watching this. They're gathering information. The flying monkeys, the D-hags. I'm sorry, you can't see. I'm sorry. There we go. Like a bat, because they got real short arms too. And they're flapping around. Right now, they're hovering. They're watching this. And they're gathering information. They're trying to figure out what is Velnito saying. And what they're going to do is take this information. They're not going to pay attention and learn anything and use their common sense and critical thinking skills and realize this ish ain't fake, that there are receipts over here. That's not what they're here to do. They're flying monkeys. They're already brainwashed. They have no brains. So they're over here just collecting data, and then they're going to go over and fly on back over to Crooks and just tell him stuff. So that was what was happening in Andrew's live stream, where he's dragging Darius because he now has his followers coming to him saying, he stole from me. He didn't order. I didn't get my order. He blocked me, all this stuff. And so he's making a public proclamation that Darius is a scammer. Darius gets wind from the flying monkeys, the D-hags. And then he then requests to join Andrew's live stream. Now, normally he will not do that, but this is why. So I'm giving y'all a lot of insight here. The reason why he joined this particular live stream, because there have been tons of people dragging him, tons. The reason he joined this one is because of the fact that Andrew has a large enough platform to actually get some traction on that. And he didn't want that to happen. So he's trying to do damage control. Darius Crooks was trying to do damage control. The other piece is he will only address directly and interact with, when it comes to the scamming allegations, he only interacts with people he feels like he's above, like he can outsmart them. So you'll see that. So that's part of it too. So part of it is he noticed this man has a large enough platform that the information will trend. The shade room all of a sudden will be picking it up and all of that, because it's two social media influencers beefing. That's how they look at it in social media world, is clicks and views. He's like, oh, let me get in front of this. So, and on top of that, he's like, not only can I get in front of this one, but I can make this person look foolish because he already has a certain kind of reputation of being a little, y'all know. So that's what he did. So he's also, like, he went on the shade room because he felt like the shade room is a messy kind of gossip site sort of thing, but the shade room does like validate their stories and all of that. That's the part he wasn't making a connection with, but that was why he agreed to interview with the shade room, and then they drug him for filth too. He did it with Black Enterprise, but that was his first legitimate article where people were actually being critical of him. Every article he had written prior to that was fluff pieces that were promoting him because they weren't aware of his predatory and scamming practices. It was all underground. Only people on certain websites knew it, and people, in certain communities who had those personal experiences. That was as far as that reach had went. But once Black Enterprise got wind of that, that's what caused that first article. Darius was so used to only having people doing this around him that he thought that he could get Black Enterprise to become a part of the hags, and that wasn't how it worked. That's a legitimate media company. So then they drug him. So the other place he's gone to is like he'll go to small podcasts and small YouTubers who are hags. There's also he had a magazine article, and then people did research. I'm just, Juanito, he done walked in here and taken over. Juanito, I thought we had a plan. I was going to transition you, but he already talking, so he done moved me out the way. But anyway, there was a magazine article written, and it was just floating on Twitter and all of that stuff. Come to find out, it was a hag, the hag, who had wrote the article, and this was during when everything was big. Yes, Larry Reed Lie is another alleged predator, according to many, many documented stories. But anyway, and they happen to be cool. Oh yeah, thank you, because you reminded me that was another place he went. He actually went on there right before that supposed retraction Black Enterprise article was supposed to come out that never came out. Well, no, I'm sorry. The article did come out, the second article, but they doubled down. There wasn't no retraction. That was like, nah, Ninja, you a scammer. We got even more receipts on that. We'll revisit that too. That's fun. I like going through that one. That was really fun because it gives a nice little overview. It's of a certain time period at this point because there's been so many new scams and Ponzi schemes coming from Darius Crooks since then. But I do like the way that they Kia Morgan Smith was the editor in chief and writer of that the second article, and I love the way she put that together. But anyway, and he's gone on the Wild It show. He's a known internet troll. I watch him though. I'm a fan, honestly. I am. I can't even lie. The Wild It show. I am a fan, but he went on there recently to lie more. We'll talk about that soon too. I've been hesitant because I know how Wiley works, and he would love for me to do that because he would love to have some trolling and stirring of the pot and all that because that's his whole brand. I get it. And he's a contrarian, so that's why he sided with the scammer over all of, and wasn't even fully aware of the story, but that's a whole nother story too. But anyway, back to it. Juanito, stop it. You can't be fighting with everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start playing. I'm gonna play it, and Juanito is going to give you a reaction. Terry B, just Google Larry Reed. Like, there's a lot out there, and I know some people follow people and they only watch that person's content, and they don't Google them and pay attention to all the other stuff about them. But Larry Reed is one that there's a ton on YouTube that will break that down for you. I don't know about Google in general, but if you Google him, that stuff even on YouTube is going to come up. But it'll break it down, all of his, all of the allegations and things that have been proven, et cetera, et cetera. But yes, Velnito and myself, Vel B and Velnito, we kind of slide in and out real quick. Sometimes y'all can't see. We move so quickly, y'all can't tell which one's sitting here. I understand. But Velnito is taking over here with this reaction piece. So I'll be back with y'all soon. So what we have here is now that interaction that I was talking about where Andrew is now dragging Crooks for filth and exposing him, basically exposing him more than anything. And that's when he hops on Andrew's live. And so this is where our stream starts. Let me move this because then I'll be blocked. Uh-oh.
Where is her stuff at? And you blocked her on your Instagram. Darius, hold on before you start.
I see.
When my supporters come over there and support you, trust and believe they mean it from their heart. And for you not to send them their merchandise, she been asking you. I got all the receipts, Darius.
You got an order number? You got a 6-digit order number?
I would send you everything.
No. Just give me. No,
that's not right.
This is very simple. Just send me a 6-digit order number. I can't do nothing until I get an order. You know our first and last name?
But the thing, I will send it to you. I'm not going to blast her right now.
I have 142,000 customers. 142,000 orders.
I'm happy for you, but I will send it.
So I don't know a particular individual, and not only if they were on my live and they got blocked.
They asked you.
Hold on 1 second, bro. Hold on 1 second. If they were on my live and they got blocked, they did something to get blocked.
She's not like that.
I don't care.
Kim, I don't know if Kim is in the chat today, but there's Kim and a litany of other people. But Kim would be the most recent person from actually last week that all she did was inquire on if it was possible to get a refund, and she got blocked. So this narrative of he doesn't block people unless they do something egregious, and he's saying in Instagram, and the truth is that's not where everyone comments. Some people don't even watch his Instagram. They're commenting on his Facebook and not the Instagram live, but the regular post, and they're getting deleted. There was a comment I saw today during doing some of my research where they were saying they would never patronize a person with supposedly 1-point-something million followers where they don't see any interaction of comments that, you know, where there was some issue or something that they could see where there was a dialogue where it got resolved. And they said it's clear by looking at his comments that it's been scrubbed clean. So anyone who makes any kind of critical comment regarding their experience with, you know, purchasing and all of that, all of it is gone. It's not oh, let me handle this in the chat, etc. And where you can see, you know, like Yelp, for instance, when you look at reviews on Yelp and stuff, you can see someone may talk about a bad experience they had or you know, not being completely satisfied with service they received at a restaurant or a business, and then that business responds within the comment and they straighten it out and they say, oh, we, you know, please call this number, or we've done this, or et cetera, you know, or thank you for your comment, we'll work on improving that. That's what legitimate businesses do. But illegitimate businesses run by predators, what they do instead is they just delete those comments and keep trying to grift and gain new people. So they like, I don't care about losing you because I'm about to grift and get, you know, 5 or 10 more of you who don't even know that I'm a scammer. That's how Darius operates. Crooks.
What you say? I understand. She like that with you, Andrew. She like that with you. If you come on my, I don't block people on my live. People block people off my live. You see what I'm saying? You come on my live talking smart. You come on my live cutting up. You getting blocked. That's it. I don't block people. Even when I have detractors and haters that come on my live, as long as they're respectful, I let them stay. When they're not respectful, I send them on their way. So I understand that might be your experience with them.
So I hate that I felt rushed. I was rushing because I really wanted to pull the receipts, and I'm going to be working on. We're going to have so many clips of stuff coming up soon, y'all. But I really wanted to show the examples because I've seen them multiple times, like too many times to count, of him literally someone asking a general question or saying they didn't receive something. He like, I ain't got time for this tonight. Block. And then the hags, a block party. We having a block party, meaning blocking party, blocking people. I'm like, y'all idiots don't realize he's just getting rid of evidence right in your face. They're mindless.
Individual, but it probably wasn't mine. And I don't even know who the person is that you're referring to. Further, we do have similar audiences and there is some crossover. So I know people that follow me that also follow you and vice versa. Why does it have to be a situation of it's your supporter that you sent coming to support me when I have viral content just like you do?
So you see, this is where the ego of Darius Cooks comes in. So he can't just have the conversation about the fact that they share followers, and that the truth is, and what Andrew's, where he's coming from with this, that he wasn't quite able to articulate in this particular conversation, is that he's referring more to the followers that he knows Darius gained from that live stream he did with him weeks or so before that, where he helped Darius helped him make rice, because Andrew's followers who were not familiar with Darius were all of a sudden like, oh, this dude just helped him cook rice and it was entertaining or whatever, I'm going to follow him. So they did. Andrew, there are followers of Andrew. I'm sure it was a nice amount that actually did come over to Darius. But that's not what Darius want to act like. No, I bring followers. I always have followers. He forgets that when this version of Darius didn't have no followers. I, at this moment, have more followers than this Darius. He forgets, what do they say? Never despise humble beginnings. They also say never have amnesia about your humble beginnings. And this Darius, DTW is what we used to call him. This DTW, Darius Travoy Williams, for those of you who might be confused, I forget. This ain't just kitchen table talk. We got everybody looking from all across the world. Welcome. But DTW is the humble beginnings, didn't have millions of followers. So he likes to be, the ego comes in like, oh, I've always been big and bad and able to dox people and suppress and silence them because I have a large following. No. You used to use a lot of your burner accounts then because you were still harassing people then because you would manually operate your burner accounts and harass innocent customers. Had one lady got so scared because somebody had inboxed her, telling her personal business, giving her address, all this. This was way back in like 2008, 2009. The lady was so freaked out by someone coming, on social media. She was on Facebook, someone inboxing her with all of her personal information that it freaked her out, and she got off social media. It was Darius trying to silence her because she had been complaining about him. She didn't realize it was him until years later, hearing all of this stuff. So just the past couple years that she realized, oh my God, all that time, it was him. And I thought it was like somebody stalking me. But now it's on a level that, he uses the hags. He sends them out, flying monkeys, sends them out to do the dirty work. I mean, he still does a lot of his dirty work himself, but he also gets the aid of the flying monkeys, aka the D-hats. Let's continue.
I sell a viable product, and the person.
Okay, well, it's not about that. It's not about that.
What is it about?
Okay, listen. This is about you sending your product to your customers. This woman who I know personally, and I said, well, for you to block, for you to
Andrew,
get blocked, you would say something wrong.
What's the person's name?
I'm not finna block her because you're known for putting out people's information.
Where's the post where I did
personal information. But what you need to learn is certain states is illegal.
Again, I just did not have time to pull the litany of times that he's posted people's personal information. We have, and he also, it's a sleight of words, sleight of hand. I'm doing magic here and you can't see, like I'm saying one thing, but it sounds true, but actually I'm just using words to twist the facts. He may not, but the truth is he has just straight out put people's personal information out there. He actually just did it with a lady, and I'm going to do a story on it, but it's more sensitive. I'm trying to figure out I think I figured out my approach, but there was recently a person who was a part of is a part of the coalition, exposing Darius Cooks coalition. And Ivy Life coach doxing. Yes, he is a known doxer. But what he'll do is he'll hide behind burner accounts sometimes, but not always. Most times he does, but sometimes, occasionally, a person gets the gift of it coming directly from him. And that's what occurred last week. I have it. It's too much to pull together all at once, and y'all see it got delayed with the bubble guts. But anyway, he put her information out there, and she had some issues with her previous career, some legal issues. He put all of her information out there, articles, et cetera, because she had been a part of the coalition of exposing. She wasn't really doing a lot more than commenting and engaging on Twitter and in some of the groups that talk about him, but she wasn't like coming to his house or making YouTube videos about him or anything. But the fact that she spoke on him, facts, though, speaking facts, the fact that she even had the audacity to even speak about him was too much for him. And he even admitted in the post, I wish I had a thought to bring that up. You know, Juanito, I just get to running. Like, I got so much I've been wanting to share with y'all because Vail B just been keeping me in the, hiding and stuff under the in the basement, telling me, it's too much. We got a certain way we got to approach this. And then, Darius Crooks did this. And we're going to take a little break. Darius Crooks requested Juanito.
Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer. You are, you gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you remember Calvin, Lavelle, those are people that I used to hang with back in the day, and you see what happened now, especially with randomness of Vail. We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? Come to think of it, let me not bring his name up, because let me tell you something. He probably, he ready to. Where's the expose? Where is the expose?
Show out, run your mouth, pop off at the mouth. I do something called an attack. When you do the attack, you got to make sure you're real rooted and grounded. Look that way. Make sure you're real rooted and grounded so they don't know what's about to go on. You just attack them. You just attack them. What did I say? I said you better do what I said to do. Did they think you're crazy? If they think you're crazy, they'll just walk away slowly like that.
People until I am bothered. And then I take it too far. But I'm a firm believer in you should have just left me alone in the first place. I don't bother people until I am bothered. And then I take it too far. But I'm a firm believer in you should have just left me alone in the first place.
So yeah, I'm this Juanito, and I'm back. And so I had Vail add that piece in because I was like, you got all these intros and trailers and stuff. Where's mine at? And so I saw that and I was like, oh, this is tight. So he gonna work on something, intro for me. But yeah, so be expecting that. And I have Vail give him some time, and now he'll be able to rest up a little bit because I'll be taking over this piece for y'all. And so expect a Juanito trailer. Let's get back into this.
Where's the post where I did that?
I'm not finna do it right now, but you have done it, Darius.
Where's the post where I've done it?
Darius, this is a real issue. It
Andrew,
needs to be addressed.
Where's the post where I did it?
Okay. Darius, I'm not finna blast you out there like that.
You don't have to blast me. I'm asking.
And again, this is how he gets you. And the people he does, the rare people that he does actually respond to, this is how he gets you, because who's walking around with the encyclopedia catalog of your scams to be able to refer to them instantly? This is literally, a vault full of scamming, because it's a tangled web that this predator weaves. And this is why some people find it hard to understand and believe, because it's like, y'all pointing at this and you saying this and you saying this, and that's a lie. That can't be, that's too much. Where this bouncing ball and blah, blah, blah. No. This is the type of sociopathic behavior we're talking about. Like, all of it is true. All of it. It is. I got about 30 scams that I'm aware of. And I bet you there's about another 20 or so that I have no idea about, that nobody knows about but him. Anyway, let's continue. You know, I'm Velnito. Velnito has no filter. Velnito tells it all because I knew it all.
I'm not.
You said no. You can't come to a person with an accusation. You cannot come to a person with an accusation and not give me the information.
No.
If I came to you,
that's what you want, Darius.
Andrew, if I came to you with an accusation, I would have the proof to back it up. You're saying to me, you're known for putting out people's information. What I'm asking
you for doing that. You are known because she's.
Where is the post?
Okay,
Where is your scooter?
Hold on.
Where's the post? When did I do it? You have. Where's that screenshot? You have all the screenshots. Where's the screenshot? Where is the screenshot?
I'm gonna tell you. I said. Okay, let me see, because all your supporters is going to believe what they want to believe.
And girls are going to believe what they want to believe.
Correct. But there is, I can guarantee you today, and I don't care about you putting out my information. I got plenty of lawyers. Everything. I'm ready.
I don't even have your information.
Let me just say this. After today, while we are on this live, I can promise you, I'm starting a federal investigation on you. Okay? You are going to. I'm going to get everybody to come forward, and they're going to show proof. And the feds already said they're watching you.
So here's some of the disclaimer I need to give with this. What Andrew is speaking is about 80% factual. Some of it is himself getting the facts confused. Some of it is him on his level of understanding, communicating what he understood it at the level that he understood it, but it is not completely farce. So, for instance, him saying he's going to do this whole gather people together and do a class action or whatever and get the FBI involved. The truth is, we see that didn't happen and wasn't going to happen. That's clear. But there is truth that there has been. Yeah, see, this is the thing about me, Velnito, is that whereas Vel B holds back on these things that he knows, I'm like, fuck, let's put it out there. I got to quit cursing. He gets mad when I curse too much. But the FBI has been involved with Darius Cooks. There has been conversation, but the FBI don't talk to the common man and be like, yeah, we at this point in the investigation, and tomorrow we talking to so-and-so, and we got these files so far, and we're surveilling this, and that's not how the FBI work. We all know that. Like, common sense is that. So just because there's nothing visibly happening for our eyes in regards to the FBI, and you can't call them up and say, hey, you working on this Darius T. Williams situation, and this known predator and scammer from Chicago, he started scamming somewhere around the age of 19, that at least Lavelle is aware of. Like, you can't do that. That's not how that works. But there has been conversation that, and when I say this, I'm talking about, I've heard this from multiple sources on a higher level, even people in media, like people who, without giving too much, although I'm Velnito, I still ain't gonna bust it all wide open. But let's put it this way: people in media who have connections with the FBI, who have been able to confirm that stuff is happening. So, and what we know about the FBI is that the FBI does not move like that. They're not going to move on a situation until they know that they're going to get a conviction. We can look at many stories. We have, these are more, on a physical level of being a predator, but, the R. Kellys and the Bill Cosby's and all of that. The Tim Norman, how many years did that take? That took 4 years. And the thing about this particular predator, Darius Cooks, is that he's this snake is slippery. This snake is very slippery. he started out with penny crimes. Like he originally started out with corporate crimes, but Vel B was telling me that he surmises that the reason that Darius Crooks may have moved from the corporate crimes to the or scams, I'll say, to the everyday people is because you start messing with the corporates. That whole FBI getting involved thing is gonna happen a lot. The white collar crime piece of it, you get locked up real quick for that. However, if you're penny scamming and stealing $90 off of people's credit cards from per person for a fake food delivery service that you create in Chicago called Fresh Go Now, Fresh to Go, whatever you want to call it, and you rent a little studio space in a large warehouse building, commercial building, to appear as if it's a legitimate company that's like really big. It's harder. And then people, they get these fraudulent, many of us have had fraudulent charges. Someone in Amsterdam then bought movie tickets and all of that off one of our cards. And then what do? We call 800 number and we say, I ain't do this. I ain't even been to no damn Amsterdam, And so what do? They reverse the charges. 9 times out of 10 is just as simple as a phone call for us. Maybe they mail a document, we sign it and send it back or something like that. That's what we're talking about, his level of scam. So the truth is he's scamming individuals. And I hear a lot, Vel and me have heard a lot, Vel B and me have heard a lot of why y'all ain't suing then? Who's going to sue for the $90 they got back or the $250 they got back from their bank or credit card company? What is there to sue for? So, but when you add these up, this is where it becomes, a huge scampire. And so this is where the FBI can then, but they got to be able to pinpoint all of these various penny scams that start to amount to the millions of dollars that he shows on, on these, well, I ain't gonna say millions, but $1 million that he shows on these bank accounts and all of this stuff. Okay, so back to it.
You know what's so funny about all that? You're going to join the rest of them. You're going to join Angela Davis, the kitchenista, who tried the same line. You're going to join Danielle and Donovan.
And he's talking about the kitchenista as if she has not provided any receipts, when that's all she did was backed up everything she said with receipts for the entire, well, I was going to say the entire summer of 2021, but the truth is it extended way beyond that into 2022, where she was providing receipt after receipt after receipt. And so she wasn't just rambling. However, he was able to get the hacks because they were only listening to his version of what was happening. And so he was able to, because they're mindless. They're flying monkeys. Flying monkeys don't have minds. They're mind controlled, but they don't have minds. And so they were able to, they were just ignoring all that was put out there and just going with whatever his spin on the narrative was. And they still do today. Like, yeah.
Who also tried.
Send my supporters their products. We're done. Darius, I don't have no beef towards you. But
I don't have a beef towards you. I don't understand what this is about.
Darius, when my supporters
why are you hollering? I'm right here, Andrew.
Darius,
why are you hollering?
You're wrong. I'm done with
Andrew,
this.
I'm right here. Why are you hollering?
Darius, you're wrong.
Why are you hollering? All you gotta do is give me the order number. Andrew, give me the order number.
I'm not giving you no order. I'm not giving you my personal information. And I'm not.
So again, we get to, the predator and the smoke and mirrors. So now, because I don't have this follower's order number available and on hand, that means that this is a lie. What? And you really going to take care of the situation right then and there anyway. But also he in this, and I don't know if we got to that part because I'm multitasking trying to put y'all comments together and all that. But he also says, well, what's their name and address and all this other stuff? And it's like, Why would someone tell you that information on a public platform with, at this particular live right here, over 3,927 people are watching? Why would someone want their full name out there, a regular everyday person? Why would they want their full name out there just because they're checking on the status of an order that they haven't been able to receive, and then you block them? That don't make no sense. But what he does that for is a dog whistle to the flying monkeys to dox the person. Because then what they do is what they've done to Kim. I think Kim might have been in chat. I think I saw something with Kim's name mentioned. Like they did to Kim last week, where all she did was inquire, hey, I have this unfortunate situation with my father. I was buying the Dining with Darius tickets to take him and treat him to your event. I'm trying to support you as well. Unfortunately, my father has fallen ill and may not be around at that time, so he definitely won't be able to make it in June, because I bought these tickets a year in advance, because that's your grift, is to get people to buy these tickets a year out. And then I'm like, I'm going to the Erykah Badu concert in what is it, June, July, something like that, and I just got them today. And even Erykah Badu, who offers this world way more than you, yeah, that rhymes. Erykah Badu offers this world way more than you. Even Erykah Badu ain't charged me a year ago. It's in a couple months. That's more normal. That makes sense. And these we're talking about, and trust me, Erykah Badu has more than the 30 D hags that you have sitting around these crowded ass tables in these Airbnbs that you're tearing up people's rental properties and stuff. This concert gonna have at least probably 10,000 plus people or whatever. If they can put this together with 10,000 plus people in an arena that's costing what your whole dining event costs to run for a year, like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. You can't do that though. But anyway, that's why he says these things. It's keyword. It's all wash and repeats, fraudulent, predatory practices. The more we talk about this, the more y'all gonna start feeling like we're watching reruns. It's gonna be Groundhog's Day every day, because he doesn't have any new grifts. Well, it might be a new grift, but it's the same foundation. So like the adult toy line, same grift. It's just like the cookware line. Someone said, what was it? Dildos and Dutch ovens. I saw that earlier today. I think I screenshot it. I don't know what it said. Yeah, dildos and Dutch ovens. So it's the same thing. He's gone from the cookware line to the adult toy line. And what's going to happen eventually? People are not going to be getting their dildos and rabbits and all the other stuff. So, all right, let's continue.
You give me your order number, I'll solve the problem. You don't give me your order number, I can solve the problem.
You and keep you. You're wrong.
Give me the order number.
Else that's out there, Darius.
Give me the order number.
Darius, send my supporters.
Give me the order number.
Send them their stuff now.
Give me the order number.
I will send you all their order numbers.
Give me the order number.
They don't get that stuff.
No. You want to solve it? You want to solve it right now on live?
Are you in Atlanta, or are you in Chicago, or are you in New York?
I'm in St. Louis.
No, you're not in St. Louis, because we don't have them type of people here.
Now, I can solve it right now. I will stop what I'm doing. My staff is waiting on me to finish this bracket.
And let's inbox, and you better send all.
No. We don't have to inbox.
So if you didn't catch it, Darius is lying to Andrew about where he's at. He says he's in Darius, when asked, says that he's in St. Louis because that's where Andrew Caldwell lives. So he's being sarcastic when he answered that. And that's why his hags in the background, the ones who work with him, were laughing in the background. We'll talk about that a little bit when we get a little further in the video. Also, this is the Kim that I've been referring to, who had the issue last week with Darius blocking her when she just inquired about a possible refund due to her change in circumstances with her father. And she's saying, wow, isn't that I'm delivered? He had an issue with him. So yes, Kim. And so this is showing how there was a lot happening. And unfortunately, you got wrapped up into investing in someone who had all of this going on even before. So this happened, I don't know if you bought your tickets in April of last year, because that's when he had that sale or whatever. But this happened like right around that time, or in May of last year. Yes, of last year. I have a video out about it and all of that. So yes, all of this was happening. Again, if you're not on social media like that, you would miss these sort of things. And this is what I try to communicate and express to everyone else who is always people who are so hard on anyone who is still supporting him. The truth is, some people who are patronizing him are truly not aware of all of this going on. Everyone doesn't spend all day on the internet or even follow the right people or situations for this to pop up on their algorithm. The internet and in these social media platforms are designed to show us what it thinks we're interested in. And so if a person only follows Darius Cooks and then everything else they follow is not gossip blogging, is not, other influencers who may have a connection to this or have spoken on this, there is a chance that they may not see this. Some of them the majority of them do not watch his IG lives where he really shows his true predatory colors, for sure. Some of them aren't looking at those daily posts on Facebook and all of that. They just watch an occasional YouTube video of his, or they see him on TikTok, and that's all they're seeing. So they're missing all of this. So because when you look at those, you look at his Instagram lives when there is not drama. Now, when there's drama, he'll have upwards of 1,800 people viewing at a time. When there's no drama, he has between 300 to 500 max viewing. Those are his core, diehard, flying monkeys. Now, those are the ones y'all watch out for. Those are the ones who are doxing y'all in the comment section and all of that. Some of them are bots too. That's a whole nother story, because they'll answer. We got screenshots and recordings of the bots talking to each other, like saying stuff that you realize it's a computer. And it's like, you look at it and it's like, it's supposedly one of his biggest fans, but you realize at a certain point, the way that it's commenting, it's literally a computer. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. I'm telling y'all. It's a lot. I told y'all this tangled, predatory web is deep.
Right now. Let's do it right now. Why we gotta go to inbox? We on live. Let's solve it right now.
I'm not gonna put my supporters' information out.
And you're very passionate. If you want a resolution, we can solve it.
They inbox me.
You're very passionate. If you want to solve it, we can solve it right now on live. Yeah.
No. You're not in St. Louis, honey. You're not in St. Louis.
If you give me an order number.
Let me get the prosecutor and the police on the phone.
Okay, you want me to hold on while you do that? Because I got time. You want me to hold on while you do it?
Darius, I'm not going to argue with you. All I got to say is...
I'm not arguing.
You like to
You want me to solve the problem.
You really good at this.
Your order number.
You really good at this.
Where is the order number?
I just told you trying to make me look like I'm a liar. I would inbox you their information. These people are married. I'm not going to put our information.
Order number. Where is the order number?
Right.
So you hear his hags, his flying monkeys, the ones who, again, work with him, back there clapping, encouraging this predatory behavior. He, if you really think about someone who's a multimillionaire, owns this, thriving business, when you have this level of controversy, do you lean into it and have this sort of behavior? How are you going to attract a new customer base with this sort of behavior? Because it's very toxic. I can't imagine wanting to patronize anyone who's this toxic, unless, and this is the key, y'all, for y'all trying to figure out why people keep supporting him. If I'm toxic too, if I'm that cousin that y'all don't even talk to because you like that B is messy. I ain't never liked her. Even when we was 5 years old, she was messy. She would be starting getting me in fights that I ain't had nothing to do with. And then laughing in the corner and lying to people and creating drama because they were getting their kicks out of it. Those sort of people that we've all met, some of them are coworkers and family members, neighbors, et cetera, et cetera. We know toxic people, all of us. We know. The toxic people are the ones who follow him. So this is right up their alley. Oh, they're loving it. Ooh, they're eating it up. They're eating it up. Give us more. Give us more. Give us more. So again, that's another demographic. You have the toxic demographic who support him because they love this. They love this. They're messy too. And then you have the ones, again, the Kims, who don't see this stuff. They don't know that he's toxic. That's his true brand, the drama. We'll get more into that in a minute too. We got some other stuff at the back end of this live. All right, let's continue.
Bye. You want attention. You got your views. You got your followers. Goodbye. You will.
And y'all know that laugh is fake as hell, right? Y'all know that too, right? I know y'all see that. Fake as hell.
You
want me to solve the problem.
You really good at this.
Your order number.
You really good at this.
Where is the order number?
I just told you trying to make me look like I'm a liar. I will inbox you their information. These people are married. I'm not going to put her information.
Order number. Where is the order number?
Right, bye. You want attention. You got your views. You got your followers. Goodbye. You will go to jail soon. You will be out. But Darius, you wrong. Where is your order number? I'm not going to put the order number out there. Am I? You wrong, Darius. And all the women and all the people that support you need to tell you you're wrong for right now. Nobody care about you got 1.5 million followers. Honey, I'm working on an HBO TV show. I'm working on mini stuff. What are you working on?
The $1.3 million I made this past weekend.
Oh, you did? Well, you've been going. I ain't hating. Good for you. No, you didn't make that. You didn't make that.
So, as we continue down this journey, as you're going down the road with me, Juanito, as I start getting, I'm starting to host more, and we'll have other topics coming. You'll start to see another pattern with, Darius Cooks, that his answer for anything concerning his horrible behavior that supposedly justifies it and makes it all better. Like, oh, I'm not wrong. I'm not doing nothing wrong. And I'm highly favored because I just made blah, blah, blah yesterday. I just sold 20 cookbooks and made $200. Like, that don't mean you're doing right. Satan blesses his minions too. His demons. Satan blesses his demons. We're watching it. We're watching it play out. But God will sift your money as wheat. Like only good people are rich. Like no bad people are ever rich, or have money, or ever make a profit. Making a profit does not justify and make it like everything is that you've done is cool because you've made a profit.
The sold out tour for 2022. I'm sorry.
I know this.
And the sold out tour for 2022. I'm sorry.
I've been doing this for 3 years. You didn't make no 1.5. Now you probably made $100,000.
And so he's bragging about his sold out tour for 2022, Dining with Diarrhea tour for 2022. However, in 2023, once the truth started to come out about him, that ain't sold out. That's why he's canceling those events secretly. And, we did a video on the one that he only had 8 seats sold. And so he faked like he forgot that they existed, that the event existed, and waited until he canceled it, I don't know, a few hours before the event was supposed to start. People fly into those events and people drive to those events and get hotels and all of that. And he canceled the day of, hours before, and then told them, I didn't know. And ain't nothing we can do because my cook's not even here. What? It's a fan club party anyway, so let them fan out. Like, still let them come. Order a pizza. But he doesn't care about y'all like that. Hags? Well, I don't know. Maybe y'all will start to see it. I don't really care if y'all never see it, honestly. It's about the people like the Kims of the world who aren't aware that we make them aware. And then I see even yesterday when I was watching the live stream, watching the replay today from last night live stream, and I saw people in the comments who in the chat were saying they didn't even know anything about him until they watched my content and binge watched the Surviving Darius Cooks series and the Exposing Darius Cooks season. And so I'm like, this is the reason I do that. This is the reason why I continue to do it, because it's protecting people who have not been harmed so that they don't get harmed by this. I mean, I can only do so much. Y'all see all the other craziness in the world we just talked about earlier, but I can't do nothing about that. But I can do my part when it comes to this. I'm not the FBI. I cannot put him in jail. But you know, I can do my part.
In a week, but you didn't make
1.3.
No. Show me your receipt. Show me your receipt. I'm not talking on that computer.
Let me grab my computer. Let me grab my computer.
I want to see your computer because I don't believe that. I need to see it.
I'm gonna log in. You want to see it?
Send my supporters their products.
Oh, you want to see it?
No. Send my supporters their information, their products.
You want to see it?
Darius Crook. I didn't say Crook. I said Cook. Send my supporters their information. I don't want to see it, Darius. Send it now. Because when my people inbox me telling me they did not receive their products and they supported you, and they're saying, Andrew, why did you have me to support this scammer? And saying, oh, so you a scammer too? I'm like, heck no. I don't want to see that.
What was that?
Oh, I'm going to put this up. I wanted to stop this for a minute. I have noticed a couple comments. I'm okay with the DHAGs being in here. They may learn something. It may actually open up their eyes. I mean, you know, it's fine. As long as they're not being disrespectful. I don't care about them capping for their predatory leader. It doesn't bother me at all. It's actually engagement for me. It's fine. It's okay. It's a view and engagement. I'm making money. Like him, I'm making money off of their mindlessness. So it's okay. Also, I saw a comment, and it's probably the person you're referring to, saying that Darius showed his bank account and that it shut Andrew up. Well, here's the thing about these numbers that they are so enamored with. These mindless flying monkeys do not consider the fact that there's operational cost. You don't know what you're really looking at. Just because it says that 1 point whatever, there's cost involved in that. And also, I don't want to go down and see, this is my problem as Juanito. I know so much, and they'll be been making me hold back so long, y'all. It's just like, I want to give it to you all, give it all to y'all and it all at once. And I can't, because we can't be here for days on end doing a live stream. But an example of how this person cannot possibly have for real, this level of money. Like ain't no telling. Could have been a deposit of something. Who knows the various nuances to it, but they're not as rich as what they're saying because of the fact that he had a shipment. So when he had this thing called Skilletgate, where that was where you saw this influx of people on social media saying they weren't getting their orders, this whole skillet thing, people were waiting months for the skillets they had paid for that was supposed to only take days to get to them. Actually, I think it was close to a year for some of them. It was close to a year for some of them. Well, because whatever you do in the dark will come to light, eventually it surfaces that the reason these people weren't getting those skillets, he had actually ordered them from overseas. He orders the stuff from Alibaba.com, where he pays $9 for that skillet. And I think the retail cost is somewhere around $120, $130 or whatever. Well, he charges them for a $9 skillet. And so what happened was his shipment came in, and it came into customs, and then he has to pay the taxes on it. Well, this 1.5 million, he must have went through it. It was gone again. This not telling you what bills got to come out of this. There's operations involved in all of this stuff. He didn't pay the customs taxes. And so his stuff was auctioned off. So they didn't auction it off after the first week or the second week. Like it's going to take them a minute to be auctioning that stuff off. And how we know this is because, and I have these receipts. I'm just, I'm Juanito. I'm just letting it all out. We know this because the stuff ended up on eBay. The skillets that people are paying $100 and some odd for, the hags, like the one in the comment section, paying all that money for, and Darius Cooks only paid $9 for it. Well, he didn't pay nothing for it. Well, no, I guess he still paid for it because it got delivered. He didn't pay the customs taxes. So that's why they never got it. So those same products ended up on eBay. Someone reached out, and I love the fact that the coalition, we got investigators and stuff. They be doing, they do that sort of level of research. I just get all the information and combine it and then present it to y'all. So they reach out to the person who's selling the stuff on eBay. Maybe we'll do a video on it so people know that I'm for real. So anyway, they reach out to the person, and the person says they got it from an auction. Like they had, because they had a bunch of them. So they got it from the auction, customs auction, because Darius Cooks never paid for it. So, I mean, you can be enamored by, numbers on the screen all you want, but it doesn't equate. And these are people generally who have never owned a business, probably can't do math, probably failed math in grammar school, probably didn't even graduate grammar school. And so they don't understand business. And so they're able to easily be duped by, the smoke and mirror show of Darius Cooks. Because again, we're looking here and it's saying 1.something million. Wouldn't you be able to pay your customs taxes on a shipment? Because you're rich, right? Make it make sense. I'll wait.
Let me see when you pay the IRS.
What was that?
Let me see when you pay everybody rent that you ran up and just left their cities.
You want to see the return from the tax return?
So Darius is ignoring the part where, and so again, Andrew just has this flood of information, which also confirmed for me that he had been watching my videos. And then when I have talked to Andrew before, and when we talked, it was confirmed. He definitely watches my content. And so he's gathering that from our Darius Cooks series and all of that. And it's a lot of information. I get it. It's a lot of information, but he has it all scattered around and he's just spouting it out. And so what he's talking about with Darius owing people money, for their apartments being, evicted and all of that. But that's happened on multiple occasions. But the one that Andrew is specifically talking about is one I dedicated a video to, which was one that Vel B dedicated a video to. I'm Vel Nito. And so in Vel B's video, Vel B had showed where Darius's landlord from when he lived in New Jersey, he lived in this guy's apartment above a garage. When he ran off from Chicago after scamming hundreds of people, he scammed Vel B. They had the food truck business together, him and another friend with Darius. It was three of them in a partnership. Darius scammed both Vel B and the other friend. And then Darius scammed his Cupcake Gallery investors. It was about 60 or so of them. And Darius had it where they invested in the Cupcake Gallery, and then they were supposed to do like profit sharing. And it was like $1,500 per 1% or something. Vel B, he has all that, he be having all those files. So he can show y'all later. Well, and he did a video on that too. So he scammed. And so what he did with them when it was time to pay up, because I think he had 90 days before he was supposed to start giving them payments. And it was like a profit sharing. So every month they were supposed to get a payment. And actually Vel B's best male friend had invested in it as well. So Vel B is not only familiar because he was friends with Darius at the time and actually was a part of the investor meeting, helped Darius go find the place where he was going to have the meeting, helped Darius set up the meeting, all of that. Vel B followed his intuition, which I'd be getting on him about because he used to doubt his intuition, and now he just follows his gut, period. But back then, he had a moment of following his gut, and his gut was telling him, don't invest in that Cupcake Gallery thing, and he didn't. So that's how he can get scammed with that, because he would have got scammed twice. He would have got scammed from the food truck business and the Cupcake Gallery. Now, how he ended up getting involved in the food truck business, I'm telling all his business too. Y'all know I can't help myself. I'm Vel Nito. I just talk. Whatever comes to my mind, I'm just giving it all. So anyway, Vel B did the food truck business because he was trying to support Darius Cooks, who at the time had opened the Cupcake Gallery by then. And from appearances, seemed like it was growing, but later you find out he's finagling and doing what he's doing here, showing fake numbers and all of that. And so Darius approaches Vel B with the other friend, and about investing in a food truck. Vel B had a business, actually had 2 businesses of his own back then. And he was saying that he really wasn't interested in starting another business, but he would be an angel investor. That, long story short, he got drug in. Because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. It'll be a video coming out about that one day. But anyway, then Darius, Vel B, in following his gut partially, not in the beginning, because he still got into that deal, he didn't put his name on that truck, the food truck, because he was like, Darius is bad at paying his bills. Darius has filed 3 bankruptcies. I told y'all that yesterday in last night's live stream. Filed 3 bankruptcies, has been evicted from at least 3 to 4 apartments off the top of my head. And so Vel and has had vehicles repossessed and has had, like parking tickets unpaid and all that other stuff. So Vel B was like, yeah, I ain't put my name on that truck because that's going to make me liable for all that stuff. So he was following his gut in that moment. But because he had a relationship, so he thought, with Darius at the time, and they had been friends for over 8 or 9 years at that point, he thought that he didn't have to not trust that he would do something underhanded, like steal the truck from him and the other business partner and sell it, which is eventually what the predator who we see at the bottom of the screen did. But that was how he was able to do that and sell it, because neither one, and Vel B, I'm Vel Nito, Vel B, he also was under the assumption in that moment, because it literally was no discussion. It was literally when documents were being signed at the place where they bought the truck. And it was like a little hole in the wall dealership, like the ones be on the corner, sells, got like 20 cars on the lot. It was one of those kind of places, but they sold trucks and stuff, because it was a box truck, like a bread truck. And so Vel B was under the assumption of, I ain't gonna put my name on it. I ain't gonna be responsible for this irresponsible Iggas stuff that he do moving forward. And he thought the other friend, aka business partner, would sign, so it'd be the 2 of them, because he really trusted the other guy. But again, he didn't really have reason not to trust Crooks at that point, because Crooks hadn't did anything to him. That's how the D-Hags, that's why he does have sympathy. I get on him because I'm like, they're horrible people. But he's always like, no, I get how they could be bamboozled by him, because he was friends with them, with Crooks, for 10 years almost before Crooks did all of those horrible things to him. So he had let his guard down. It was like a brother. It was a brotherhood. So anyway, that's how, Crooks was able to sell that truck. So, but I'm sidetracking though. So Crooks ended up, he scammed all these people in Chicago. So you got the food, you got the food truck business with his 2 best, one brother friend, well, both were brother friends, and one was a friend from high school. And then he had, Vel B, who he dated for 2 years, and then they were friends for 9 years after that. And so this was people he was very close to. And you see that he speaks fondly, you can see the glare in his eye when he's like, yeah, and you used to have tribes. And let me play this for y'all, because, some people think that Vel B is the one who's obsessed and hasn't gotten over Darius Cooks, who this is what they, so he's supposed to be, Vel B is supposed to be in love with that. He ain't got over that in 20 years. What? And again, he dumped him. Vel B dumped that, because he saw the narcissistic behavior. He didn't know he was a sociopath, but he did definitely see the narcissistic behavior. But anyway, it was a tribe. And so just a quick little reminder when we get right back to what we talking about.
Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer. You are, you gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you remember Calvin, Lavelle, those are people that I used to hang with.
So, I mean, you see there in his own words, and there's, we'll do a deep dive video on that piece of it, because Darius Cooks has been telling the lie that he and Vel B is just a scorned ex he's been telling us that lie for 2 years, and Vel B has been just kind of laying back and just doing his job. That's the thing about him. He come from corporate. And also he don't like a lot of drama. He don't like no drama and stuff. That's why he's like, it's all bets are off. He keep poking us. I try to keep a certain level. I'm trying to do what I got what I got going on, what the future plan is. I know his 10-year plan and everything. I'm telling y'all, wait till y'all see what VLB got going on. That dude be on it. But anyway, so he's like, all bets are off. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna let you do, get in the gutter with Darius Cooks. But as you can see, Darius Cooks has been giving the narrative that VLB is some obsessed ex, and aka clout chaser, who wanted to ride the coattails of, because remember, let's not forget, remember when this clout chasing, that's when they last were communicating with each other. That was what that was. Does that look like something you clout chase after? Does that look like something you're like, oh, I'm gonna give up my whole life and my dreams and my calling, my God calling, to serve people, to be good to people, to use my gifts of intelligence and creativity for that? I dumped that 10 years prior to that ending of the friendship and became friends with them because they're charismatic, they're intelligent, it was fun. But now all of a sudden, they're a bitter, jealous ex-clout chasing stalker? What? Meanwhile, let's not forget, let's stay on topic.
Back in the day, and you see,
let's stay on topic.
And I hung with people like, there were crews. We had people hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you remember Calvin, Lavelle, those are people that I used to hang with back in the day, and you see.
So, I mean, when you use your brain and your critical thinking skills, you can see from the inflection and the glazing of the eyes that that's not the talk of a memory of a stalker ex. That's the memory of, wow, we had some good times. That was my brother. That was a brotherhood. Because he didn't say my friend Calvin and my other crew. He specifically mentioned two people only. The two people he scammed in the food truck business. But Vale, no, you ain't got to come out. You ain't got to come out. And I told you I'm going to be telling some of this because you taking too long. You keep telling these people that you're going to tell them the backstory, that you're going to expose the truth of that, but you don't want to make it about you. You want to make it about the new people who've been victimized because you feel guilty because you didn't say nothing for 10 plus years. It's my turn. Get on back there. So anyway, as you can see from there, he's a freaking liar. I wanted to say the other word. He's a freaking liar. You see it in his own eyes, and there's way more proof. He claims that, they hadn't talked in so many, if you listen to the narrative, Vale B, he working on that stuff. He got all the files of, the whole Library of Congress of documentation on this scammer. He has all that. So he's working on some stuff. But he literally has clips of every time this scammer says how long they haven't been talking, the amount of years change. And they're always way more years than what it actually was. And he, it's the ex-boyfriend narrative that he's been spitting for, 2 years. And Vale B, he just laying low. He like, I'm just keeping my head to the grindstone. I'm just telling these stories and putting the timelines together so people like Kim and others can understand what's happening here. And all the while, Vale B sitting on literally the contract for the food truck business to prove that Darius straight up stole money from them, closed the bank account. Like he did all kind of fraud, forged their names on the documentations in order to steal the money out of the bank account. This all this other underhanded stuff. Now, Darius Cooks will tell the story. I'm way off topic at this point, but I'm Bill Nito. This is what I do. I just let it flow wherever it takes us. That's where we're going. So, whereas Darius Cooks tells the lie, like he was so much more intelligent and you know, the other friend and Vel B were trying to get him. And y'all see that behavior now. Kim, whose father is unfortunately ill, she's trying to get him. So that's why he had to block her. Andrew Caldwell, trying to stick up for his follower, trying to get him. Everybody's trying to get him. Anytime you speak up, you're trying to get him. And the infraction that Vel B and the other friend had was that as business partners, because at a certain point in Vel B, he'll get into all that. Well, I think he's going to have me tell the story. You going to have me tell the story when you put it together? Okay. So he's going to have me tell the story, but he's going to put all the documentation together. But he ended up getting deeper into that food truck business because Darius Cooks bamboozled him, basically. And he was a loyal friend. He's just, that's always been his fault. He's to be doing too much, trying to save everybody. So anyway, he was doing that. And so he ended up like building out the food truck and getting the restaurant approved through the health inspector and stuff so they can get the license for the food truck. It's the whole thing. He gonna tell y'all, well, he gonna put it all together so I can tell y'all the story. And I'll be putting up the documents at the same time. So, but anyway, Vel, because he ended up getting pulled deeper into the business than he originally wanted to be, he and the other friend then had thoughts about how the business should be run. One of the things that was the biggest conflict was that the friend and Vel B wanted to have a setup for customer service, because that's what you do when you got a business and you're serving customers. You want to have a way to be able to service the customers, like when there's issues or questions and concerns and da-da-da-da-da. Crooks was like, well, we need all that for? We ain't need all that. We don't need none of that. And so they were like, well, we should have at least a phone number with like a voicemail so people can have something, you know, they shouldn't only have to communicate with us through social media. You don't know how things work, blah, 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 blah. Got hella offended. We was like, well, we can use, you know, like a Google Voice number or whatever it was back then, because that was years ago. But we can use this. So the thing is, the funny thing about it is that the two, you know, Vel B and the other friend, and I'm purposely not saying the friend's name repeatedly because they're not a public figure, you know, they land low, all that good stuff. But the two of them have thrived in corporate America in areas that serve people, as in like customer service related or client services and things of that nature. And then you got this, who don't even care about people. So you had two people with servants' hearts who are like, well, yeah, we're good with the business and we're going to serve people. But we got to also be able to take care. Like, we're not just trying to receive money from those people. We got to be able to take care of them as well. And that was a problem. And so that was the beginning of the end of like things started to go downhill. But again, Vel B, he putting that stuff together. And I don't want to go too much deeper in that. So anyway, back to, we went way, and now we go back where we left off. So Darius Cooks scammed a bunch of people in Chicago. So again, food truck business partners, aka brothers. Although you want to make one of them like he's just some jealous scorned ex, and they hadn't even dated in, again, almost 10 years after they after the business and all that. It's craziness. And then you had the investors for the Cupcake Gallery, 60 plus people. Then you had the Fresh to Go scam, which was the food delivery service. Now, we've done videos on, well, I'm sorry, the Vel B has done videos on that. So you can always look at it's either the Exposing or the Surviving Darius Cooks series. He is so much proof out there. You can't keep track of all that. But anyway, it was 200 and something odd people who were scammed by trying to patronize the service. And it was like before these existed, it was more like a Instacart kind of situation, but it really was like Peapod was what he was going for. Now, Vel B had already had a conversation with Darius Cooks about it when Darius Cooks came with the idea, because that was all that was out at the time was Peapod. Instacart didn't exist. So the idea of going shopping for someone, that wasn't, because I saw in Vel B's comments under his video, somebody saying, see, this just proves Crooks' brilliance, because he came up with Instacart before it was Instacart. No. Don't get it confused. I understand y'all a little slow. That's not what it was. He was trying to copy Peapod. And the issue that Vel B saw was like, you can't afford no facility, no warehouse, the multiple trucks that you would need for delivery, hiring the staff, all that good stuff. You ain't got that capability. What Vel B didn't realize at that time was that that was never the plan. Darius Cooks told him the legitimate sounding plan, but the truth is there was a scam running behind the whole thing, because all Darius Cooks did was rented a little suite within a commercial building that looked like it could house a warehouse, but that he didn't have no warehouse. And he then would go to the grocery stores and then try to drop off groceries. But the problem was he wasn't able to do that because he was also running the Cupcake Gallery at the time, and supposedly trying to do the food truck. But he didn't really do nothing with that when it all boiled down. But anyway, he that was a scam. So he was charging people doing it. They were buying online. It was just a website. People are, and he was putting flyers on people's doors and all of that, having them go all up north, the places where people would do those sort of things. It wasn't in the hood. He was going after a certain demographic. Y'all know what I'm saying. So he got all those people. They were, buying groceries of various amounts. He was charging their cards up to $100, right up under $100. And what I figured with that, it had to be something related to, I don't know, is it a felony after a certain amount? Again, I'm not a scammer, I'm not a predator, so I don't know those sort of things. But anyway, it was hundreds of people commenting online, giving Yelp reviews, et cetera, saying this company is scamming me and all these other things. I did a video on it, so we ain't gonna go too deep into that. So you got, so again, you've got the Cupcake Gallery investors, you got the food truck, brotherhood, you got the Fresh to Go, 200 plus, people that we know of or had heard of. He scammed. Then the Groupon scam. Don't let me forget that. The Groupon scam was the scam he had going on within the Cupcake Gallery. And so that scam was he was working with Groupon. He would put out discount codes or whatever, however that was working. And then when people would come in to redeem them, the codes wouldn't work and he would act like he couldn't assist them. And so they were losing their money. Groupon eventually dropped him for that. So that's why he don't do those sort of things now. Eventbrite, the same thing, but not it wasn't related to the Cupcake crowd. So anyway, those are the ones right now, just because I'm summing this up. So again, scam those people, all these people in Chicago. Those are the ones I'm talking about right now. There's some other stuff he did too. Scammed them. He ran off to New Jersey. And then he rented this apartment above this guy's garage. He ended up destroying the guy's apartment. And he broke the microwave door off. I don't know how that happens. And the guy ended up coming on one of the social media platforms, telling the story of how Darius was bouncing rent checks to him. And he bounced one rent check, and then he wrote him another one and then did a stop payment. And so that's illegal in New Jersey. And so the guy was like, I should have at that time, but he didn't know who he was really dealing with. He said he should have at that time filed charges against him. So again, you got to look at how he gets away with the grifts. Sometimes people think this ain't worth my time to go through all of that for that, or he just making a mistake or whatever. Because again, he's charismatic and all of that. So that works for him. So it's not that he hasn't committed crimes. It's that he's a slippery snake. He's just slipped through. I just believe that God is allowing him to dig a deep enough hole that when that dirt starts falling on him, he won't even be able to take one little, like it's just gone. Just it's just over for him. That's what I believe. I just believe that the fall is going to be one of the biggest falls that any of us have ever witnessed in our lives. That's just personally because I'm just like, karma kicks in. It does. It does exist. It's gonna exist. I mean, you can look at some of the people that seem the most successful. Who was that guy? Y'all put it in the comment. The guy he was so rich and he dealt with all of the rich, you know, the politicians, the bankers, and all of that. And he had that island, and he was a predator. Well, he lived in Miami too, and he was a predator against young girls. And they had they called it something island, Celebrity Island or something. There was a documentary on Netflix regarding him. Epstein, thank you so much. Hey you there. Yes, Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein. He way richer than him. Life was great for him. Multiple properties, owning islands, knowing all of the top tier people, pretty much from the appearance, just like somebody showing, you know, $1.5 million in a bank account that nobody can explain the expenses behind that. By appearances could seem like, oh, he got away with everything, because he did that for well over a decade, I think. And then what happened? Karma kicked in, and he finally got arrested. And it was like it was some of the same stuff he had been doing that finally got him caught up. He had been doing it for over a decade, and then he got caught up, and then he ended up getting arrested, and then mysteriously passed away in the jail. Like mysteriously. But we know there was a lot of powerful people attached to, if he go down, he knew too much. So right, Sugar Spice. I ain't gonna put that up on the screen, but exactly. So that's the world that I know that my God, or our God, all of us who are normal around here, that our God, you know, has spinning around. So it's coming. What it's going to look like, I don't know. Again, he ain't shared that part with me, or with Velby or me, Juanito. He ain't shared that part with us yet. He just told us that we need to continue this work. That's all we know. We know our assignment. That's all we know. Anyway, let's get back to this video. Where we at? 2 hours. So we're gonna do 3. We'll give you 3. You know, Velby, you know, he's a full-time influencer, but you know, I work from home and stuff, so I'm kind of like, I get to make my own schedule. So whenever he want me to come on, I'm available, y'all. Just so y'all know, y'all ain't got to worry about it. Like, where Velnito? I'm available whenever he need me. Cause I like y'all. I like y'all too. He's always talking about how much he loves y'all. So I'm falling in love with y'all too. All right, back to our original program. If it starts up.
Trying to see that $148,000 settlement that you settled with the city. I'm not ready to see that. I want to see, and also the lady, you know, that lady that made your
Hold on 1 second. The bottom bounce. The bottom bounce. With the bottom bounce. Okay, the lady that did what?
And that's another. I got this hideous picture in front of me. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, and so that's his other, again, rinse and repeat everything with him, where he says the ball is bouncing, because he then likes to make it like, y'all making up all this stuff. You were just talking about that, now you're talking about this, and now you're saying that, and now you're saying that. Which one is true? All of them. Like all of them. But he loves to say the bouncing ball. Your grift is a bouncing ball. Literally, your grift is a bouncing ball.
Come on, let's deal with it. Come on, let's deal with it.
Darius Cooks Williams. I'm just saying because I don't want you to think I call you a crook.
Let's deal with it. What's up? Let's deal with it.
Darius, I'm not putting you out there. Pay the people back.
You are. No, you are, because Andrew, you have not, to this point, you have not provided any detailed information. You're providing
you want me to
I've asked you for an order number 45 times so that I can solve your supporters' problem. I'm going to solve your supporters' problem right here on live.
Okay, and that means you're going to solve everybody else's problems as well?
That I don't have a problem with everybody else.
You solve every employee, because you remember you went live and during COVID, you went live and laid off all your employees doing Instagram live. You remember that? And when they were stealing your
Andrew, I've never laid off employees on Instagram live. That
you
goes
need to
against
take your
Okay, so once again, and I meant to pull this. This is why I hate rushing to get y'all stuff. But I meant to pull this because this is once. Oh, I know where to take it from. I know where I can get it from. This is once again Darius Cooks using semantics and the fact that Andrew doesn't understand the nuances of the situation. So he's saying words and some stuff is off. So Darius is like, I never fired my employees when he had to shut down those restaurants. Now he'll say he closed them for mental health reasons. It was too much for me, and then it was hard to keep it staffed, and then the hags, what they do is they were like, see, you really blessed because and you so smart and your intuition, and because you shut down you closed your restaurants right before the pandemic started. Yeah, that's not what happened. Yes, they did close before the pandemic started, like in February, I want to say, or January, February. But what actually occurred is that they were shut down by the state of Georgia because of the fact that his business licenses were revoked due to the judgment that the state of Georgia had against him for the fraudulent above 701 credit card scam or credit card company. And because he was scamming, part of the agreement or decree was that he had to get rid of his business license, and he cannot do business in the state of Georgia because it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't an oversight. It was purposeful that he was running those illegal credit repair companies in Georgia. Well, that illegal credit repair company in Georgia. He was fully aware of what was happening there. Okay, this is what I want to try to pull for y'all. Hold on. Now my screen disappeared. Come on now. There you go. Y'all back. Okay, now that disappeared again. Hold on. I got so many windows open, stuff just get covered. Here we go. All right, now let me try to share it. So this was what Andrew was referring to. What actually happened was Darius announced the closing of his restaurants on his Instagram Live. He didn't have a meeting with his staff. He didn't even go in that day. The doors were locked. The business was closed. And they found out when they went to work that morning. Now, what Darius Cooks will claim is that, well, I had to do it that way because who would still come to work when you tell them you closing the business? Well, Miss Robbie of Welcome to Sweetie Pies, the Welcome to Sweetie Pies series, and the owner of the Sweetie Pies restaurant chains, has closed now officially 4 restaurants, 2 within the past 6 months or so. Both of them, she announced her closings. Both of them, her employees were working until the last days. It's even on the news. Like the one she just closed in Jackson, Mississippi a month or so ago. There is literally on the news with her employees packing up the equipment and stuff and putting it on a U-Haul truck. So people will work when a business is closing because they still need to survive until they can find something else. So they're going to take as much as they can get as far as, employment and hours and stuff. You're a liar. You're a liar. But you're hags because they don't use their common sense. And they're indoctrinated by you by every sentiment that comes out of your mouth, every lie that comes out of your mouth. So speaking of your lies, let's take a view of this, because this is actually what happened when those restaurants got closed. Again, this is what Andrew is talking about. But again, he just kind of got some of the facts confused. And again, it's understandable because this grift is complicated. I'm really hoping y'all can hear this, though. That's the only thing. I didn't do any tests or anything. Let me know if y'all can hear it, if it's a problem. I got the, hold on. Ooh, that's low. I'm hoping y'all can hear that. That's really low on my end. Can y'all hear that?
Especially in recent weeks when he says it all took a turn right before he shut down these 3 restaurants. But state records give us a glimpse into what was happening with this particular restaurant, Soul Crab Atlanta, over the summer, as well as another business the state says he was operating.
Okay, so I'm going to just play it in the background. What I can hear, it's really low. When I recorded it, it's so low that it doesn't. Wait. Is there a way? No, I don't think there's a way for me to. So I'll just play it here. But okay, so what they're doing, this is a news cast. I forgot which. Wait, what whatever. It's Atlanta. One of the Atlanta news. Channel 2 in Atlanta. When that restaurant, that's the Soul Crab. Well, it was Soul Crab Atlanta, and the Greens and Gravy restaurant was shut down by the state because he lost his business licenses because of the above 701 scam. And so this is what the newscast is doing. The news reporter is doing a report on the fact that he just abruptly shut his businesses and didn't inform anyone, his employees or anything, because that's not normal. You do that when you're running away from town, but that's not how you a normal, legitimate operating business closes. That's not how that happens. So then what you see here, and I'm going to say what he's saying since you guys can't hear it. He's saying, draw your own conclusions. Take what you want. I think people are saying, you just got because of the you just got sued. He's doing sued. This investigation. And so he's saying, child, this investigation. So he's like, this ain't nothing. This investigation been going on since the summer of last year. So this happened in early 2020. So the state of Georgia had been on him since 2019. And he was, again, this is the thing. And somebody else commented about something else I'm going to talk about before we leave. But this is, again, the thing. He knew in 2019 that the state was looking at him, that there was a situation happening. He on social media acting like ain't nothing going on. Remember, he's so transparent, though. He's so transparent. He ain't telling you that the state of Georgia is after him, and he's got to get his attorney to try to save his heirs. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Toby Starlight. I hate that I can't highlight y'all comments and all that. I can't do all the multitasking like that. But Toysby is saying with his meds. So, yes, that's part of the grift, too. Anytime Darius Crooks gets in trouble, he hasn't pulled it lately. Well, I'm not going to say surprising, but he hasn't pulled it lately because we've been calling it out since this, really. Every time Darius gets backed into a corner where his grift is fully exposed on a public level, he goes towards the mental health thing. He starts talking about taking anxiety medicine and all of these other things. He did that in Chicago when he scammed the hundreds of us. I just told y'all about that. When he ran off and disappeared, because he ran out in the middle of the day while people were at work and stuff. His roommate came home. Darius was gone. Most of anything he could pack in his car was gone, but he left like furniture and TVs and all of that kind of stuff. The roommate didn't even know that Darius was leaving. The landlord didn't know, who's a friend, is a friend of mine still, but was a friend of Darius, didn't know he was leaving. He just left in the middle of the day. Nobody in Chicago, but like, I don't know, one or two people, I think he told, that he was just escaping to New York. And then when he did pop back up on social media, on Facebook, he then gave this whole diatribe about his life being overwhelming and all of these other things. And then was inferring that he was going to take his life. I knew it was all bull-ish. And so I was in a private chat with a group of friends, we have our group chats. And I was like, well, if he does, he can start all over because he's effed this life up. Now, this was banter between me and a group of friends. One of them was a mole, and I didn't know it at the time. I always knew I couldn't trust that person, really. And they went back and told Darius. So now the narrative, I'm sorry, Vel B had said all that. Forgot, I'm not Juanito. Velnito, I'm sorry. But anyway, Darius got wind of that, or got the screenshot, or whatever, however it happened. He finds out about it, and that's when he officially blocked Vel B on Facebook. Because at that time, although they weren't in communication anymore due to Darius scamming Vel B has never been the kind of person to do what I'm doing. That ain't how Vel B roll. Darius Crooks is not the first or the last person to have, harmed Vel B and, you know, and violated his trust and all that stuff. But Vel B just usually takes the approach of karma will take care of them kind of things. And it always has in his case. He always gets to see it. God just kind of protects him like that. So he took that approach. And so although him and Darius weren't communicating and all of that, he still was connected with him through social media. Well, Darius gets wind of that Vel's comment in a group chat amongst friends from a mole. Y'all know, y'all got him too. Be careful. Not that Vel be cared. He's like, because it's true. You have effed up this life. You effed it up back then, and you're effing it. You then got a reset, and you started effing it up even more. You just made it bigger. So anyway, Darius Crooks then officially blocked Vel B and all of that, and Vel B didn't care. He moved on with life. Now Darius Crooks tells this story and puts, again, he always changes the narrative. He in his own words, creates the narrative. We got those sound bites too. He creates the narrative. So the new narrative that Darius Crooks has created is that Vel B wrote that on Facebook. Like he wrote it for the public to see that Darius should start his life all over again because he's effed this one completely up. Meaning, you know, go ahead, bye, and be reincarnated because you need to fix this. It's not true. It's not true that Vel you can scrub Vel B's all his social media. You would never see him saying, you know, only person. Disclaimer: he drags Darius Crooks. He will do that, but just in general, dragging people, that's just never been his MO. Y'all probably kind of get a feel for that at this point. Now, me, Velnito, he keeps me in the basement. Like we grew up together, but he's always had me in the basement. Then he'd be putting locks on the padlocks on the other side of the door, so I can't get out unless he allows me to get out. And it's very rare, very rare. I'm really happy that he's finally, you know, come to his senses and let me do my thing. All right, so let's continue. And it's not a long clip, but I'm gonna let y'all know. Uh-oh, now it froze, didn't it? Oh, no, my play button over there.
Did a nearly 20-minute Facebook video to fans Tuesday morning.
So now the newscaster is talking, and she's saying he did nearly a 20-minute video to his fans this particular day. So the medication, like who even does this? It's all theatrics. Who puts their pill bottles? And so he has his articles of incorporations for the multiple businesses, because again, his justification for all of his harming of people is always how much money he makes, how successful he is. He's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman, blah, blah, blah. Then, but in this particular case, that wasn't enough. So on top of it, he had to add the pill bottles to say, and on top of that, I'm crazy. And on top of that, I'm medicated. So one of these got to work for you. Either you're going to be enamored by the fact that I'm a entrepreneur and supposedly at that point, that's when he first started saying he was officially a millionaire. And then the other part is, well, if this ain't good enough for you, like the normal people who aren't fascinated just because somebody got a couple dollars in their bank account, then I'm a pull on your heartstrings and say, but I'm also crazy and I'm depressed and I'm an undiagnosed sociopath. Maybe this will help. Can I scam you now? Like that's the approach he was going for.
An entrepreneur telling them about his path to better mental health and denying.
Oh, so then on top of that, this was what he was using as the excuse for why he closed the businesses. So the restaurant, again, they were shut down, but he's claiming he voluntarily closed them up completely of his own will because of his mental health. It was too much for him. It was a decision between his well-being and the business, and he had to choose him. He chose himself, self-care. And so he closed the business and left hundreds of people stranded without jobs, no notice. Because it's always about him. It's always about him. We see this.
His trouble with the state is tied to this.
And the newscaster just said, his trouble with the state is tied to this. And then this popped up.
The sudden closure of his 2 Atlanta restaurants in Chicago's.
The sudden closure of his 2 restaurants and the Soul Crab, the one in Chicago, Soul Crab, Chicago, which I think Donna is the one who said she went there and they ain't had no food. Like they had a sign that they was out of food. They couldn't serve people. But now he's a food reviewer trying to critique other Black businesses.
This week,
I wrote the check in December, so I don't really understand how one has to do with the other.
I wish I could really hear that because this is funnier when you can hear it. So he says here that he wrote the check in December for this. So again, this is around end of January, February-ish. He's saying, I wrote the check in, like, this is all done. I don't know why you guys are bringing this up. Why you're making a big deal of me closing these restaurants, because I did that for my mental health. And now he's trying to separate the two as if they are not associated. And as far as the above 701, the thing with the state, I wrote them a check way back in December. And I've heard him say many times, and it was $145,000, and I just wrote the check, and it was nothing. It was only $145 to get it out of my way. That was nothing. From what I heard, he had a payment plan, but I don't know that to be factual, but I did hear that there was a payment plan. I still have to read those documents. I got those court documents too. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. Well, I'm sorry. Vel B, he has those court documents too. I help him out sometimes, like in full transparency. I do help him out sometimes with the research because it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot.
And it is what it is.
Williams is referring to his 145.
So the newscaster then says William is referring to his $145,750.00 judgment from the state of Georgia.
$1,000 settlement with the state,
it was a settlement. She's saying.
Him of operating an illegal credit repair bid.
Who accused him of, and this is what the newscaster is saying. The state of Georgia, who accused him of illegally operating a credit repair business in the state of Georgia.
Where he accepted money before providing services.
Where he accepted money before providing services.
Or misled customers about how he could actually help them.
Or misled customers about how he could actually help them.
He still operates legally in other states in response to complaints saying some clients.
He still operates legally in other states. Now, this was back then in 2021. Well, I can't say for a fact, but as to our knowledge, Courtney, you are funny. I wish I could click on that comment real quick for the screen. When I get to, I'm gonna start though. Courtney Witherspoon is saying #free Velnito, let him out of the basement more often. Thank you. Vel B needs to hear this. I'm gonna save that for him to see it.
Damage their own credit.
So he's saying here, hold on, let me go back a little bit. Threw my thoughts off with my shenanigans.
May have further damaged their own credit.
So he's going on to say, oh no, let me go back a little bit more. Oh, I keep forgetting this way up
here. May have further damaged their. He's saying some clients may have further. It's legally in other states in response to complaints saying some client.
Okay, and so she's talking about how Darius Cooks has responded to the complaints even outside of the state of Georgia, and his reasoning for that is some of those clients who are complaining may have damaged their own credit. So it's not on him, it's things. Oh, y'all can hear the video. Maybe I think it got louder. Okay, good. Thank you so much for that, Scooby-Doo. I love your name. Okay, good. If y'all can really hear it, I'm gonna just let y'all hear it.
After he signed them on.
I don't want to go into like people's personal stuff because I'm bound to confidentiality, but that's typically what happens.
State records show both the credit business in one of the restaurants, Soul Crab ATL, lost its business licensing with the state last summer because of financial and compliance issues.
Did y'all hear that? She said I'm gonna re-say it just in case y'all can't hear it. Let me know if y'all can really hear it. I only see that Scooby-Doo says she can. Oh, I'm sorry, they can hear it. Oh, I keep forgetting this thing is up here. Because this here was a doozy. Where's that?
Crab ATL.
Let me go back more. Here we go.
State records show both the credit repair business in one of the restaurants.
So what they're saying is it's showing, state records are showing that he basically used one of the restaurant's addresses for the credit repair business. So that's already a conflict of interest. So
Crab ATL lost its business licensing with the state last summer.
And they said Soul Crab ATL lost its business license with the state last summer. So that previous summer in 2019. But they were still operating, right? I don't know. I would have to look back at the timeline to figure all that out. So let me finish.
Because of financial and compliance issues.
because of financial incompliance issues, which again has nothing to do with nothing to do with his mental health, nothing to do with even the judgment. It had already lost his business license.
Williams doesn't address the restaurant's record, but says the state judgment and restaurant closures are unrelated and deny financial problems.
All right, cool. It's $145,000 I got to write, and this is off my back. No big deal. Give me the checkbook.
No big deal. Darius Cooks says that none of this is any big deal. All of you are just making a big deal out of nothing. This is nothing. All right, let's get back to our regular scheduled program. And then what time is it? Okay, then I'm gonna do some comments. We may not get through the entire yeah, because I think after this certain point I can move on.
Let's go against HIPAA law. What are you talking about?
Difference to a side, right?
Where do y'all get y'all information, Andrew? I never laid off an employee on a live
y'all. You got my braids wiggling, but ain't no y'all. Listen,
Andrew, when did you ever see me lay off employees on Instagram?
Darius, you got my word on this. I would donate $100,000.
Where is the order number? I want to solve it. I want to solve it. I want to solve the problem right now.
No, Darius, because before I did this, I wanted to get some investigation first, and I digged up and I looked up in the system.
Andrew, ain't no investigation. I'm right here, bro. I'm right here. We don't have to invest. As a matter of fact, we don't have to investigate nothing, Andrew. I'm right here.
I would donate $100,000 if
you can ask me any question you want to ask.
$100,000 when you pay your employees. I would give you $100,000.
Eugene, did you get paid every week?
You got all employees out there.
Natalie,
and you got people.
Do you get paid every month?
Okay, so first of all, again, semantics, because none of those people that he's talking to in that moment are asking, do you get paid? They're not employees. They're contractual workers. I mean, they're like 1099. They're contractors. They all have their own businesses, so they're business colleagues. Just like if I hire Roto-Rooter to come over here and fix my toilet, they're not an employee of mine because they've come over here to work. So again, yeah, these are the games that he plays. But also I paused it right here because remember on yesterday, Juanito, was telling you guys about his food photographer, Madeline. I saw in the comments yesterday, someone tell me who remind me what her name was. Madeline is a food photographer and very, very good. Like her work is just top notch. She's also on like Instagram and all of that. And so Darius met her years ago and she's been working with him, not for him. She's not an employee, never has been an employee, but he did set up a plan with her and like his that other the videographer, even in this thing, all these people cackling and he-ing with him. I know two of them aren't around anymore. I don't know about the videographer if he's gone for good, but I do know Darius has a new videographer, so who travels with him. So I'm assuming he got rid of this guy because that's just how he operates. But Madeline, she's over there cackling and kicking, and everything he's doing is cute and funny. And then fast forward months later, her time has now come, and now he's blasting her and saying that she has done things that made him have to come out of his character. And, he ended up saying some things that he's not comfortable sharing because she made him come out of his character based on the conversation they had. What we do know is that her business had become so very successful that she started working with Pinky, Slutty Vegan, who used to actually be a business neighbor of Darius Cooks when he had the Greens and Gravy restaurant. Her restaurant was on the corner of the same block, and he did some horrible things to her, so she don't F with him either. He does horrible things to most people that he interacts with, especially because he's envious and jealous. So he tried to ruin her, and we see how well Slutty Vegan is doing, food trucks in multiple locations, supposedly in a business that can't be run. It's funny how he's attributing like you can't find good workers and his people were the reason why his business failed, not his incompetency with human interactions and being a sociopath and a predator. That wasn't the problem. It was the people. However, Slutty Vegan, who had a restaurant $2-3 down, was not only able to continue to run that restaurant through the pandemic, but she's grown and has a food truck and now has her products in grocery stores nationally. And some other stuff she got going on. I don't follow her like that, but she got some other stuff going on I've heard about. Who's the common denominator here? Like, because restaurants are still thriving. You had to close down 3. And you say it's not associated with the fact that the state of Georgia literally documented saying that they have revoked your business licenses in the state of Georgia. But that ain't why you close your businesses. What? Make that make sense. We'll wait. Hey, Madeline, we told you what was going to happen. Guess you see now.
Did not pay.
Every week. Security, do you get paid every week? Okay, those are my employees right here.
You're not nice. Darius, you're not nice to people. You're only nice because you're on live, but behind the scenes, you are mean.
No, that's, yeah, you can have it. I'm not nice to y'all? Very nice. Am I nice to
Darius,
okay, now what are we saying?
Your employees, and I would give you $100,000. You got my word. I'm telling you, 4,000 people on here watching. I would give you $100,000 if you go back and pay all your employees that you owed.
Where are the employees? So this ball done moved, Andrew.
Come forward.
At first, it was your supporters,
you owe the
and now I don't pay employees.
No. You owe the IRS from paying your employees when you didn't pay your employees. And I got.
How do you owe the IRS through paying employees?
Well, not the IRS. You owe somebody for payroll protection, for whatever you got.
Okay.
It's something.
Do you want me to explain?
You do owe them.
Can I say one thing to you real fast?
Yes.
Okay. If you know how federal taxes work from an employer standpoint, the employee pays their withholding tax. Can I finish saying this? Can I finish saying
$10,000 from
Can I finish saying it? Can I finish saying it? Can I finish saying it?
Yes, and we gonna pay that $10,000 from that Airbnb that you having people book your events at have these events at.
So you believe somebody who says she works for me?
You and you don't owe $10,000. I contacted Airbnb.
So this is the story about y'all know I'm so well. I too, Juanito, am not that great with names, just like Vel B. He always tells y'all he's bad with names. It's on the Jesus. She has a crazy name, but it is the TikToker who, if you know it, put it in the chat for me. But the TikToker who Vel B did a video on, who says that she worked for Darius for a short time, like as in an admin position, and he ended up duping her into renting his Airbnb locations. And Spunky Brewster, I think was her name. Spunky Brewster. I think it's something like that. So she ended up getting the Airbnbs for him because he claimed that he was having some problem. He couldn't get in his account or some other. It was a grift. It was him scamming her. Anyway, she ended up doing a TikTok video when he was getting blasted. And she said, I personally had experience with him too. And he ended up getting me in trouble with $10,000 with Airbnb because he trashed the house after she had quit. And she told him don't use her account anymore. He still used it before she completely, blocked him out. And she ended up getting an email from Airbnb that a homeowner was trying to get $10,000 out of her for their house being destroyed by Darius Cooks having one of those dining with diarrhea events. And so this is what Andrew has brought up, is that video that Vel B did because he's a watcher, because Andrew's a watcher. And so Darius Cooks is now trying to say, how you know she worked for me? You just believe in anything? What proof she got that she worked for me? Again, nobody's walking around with the Library of Congress of predatory receipts that we have on you. And so he's not able to bring that up. And however, I know for a fact, I'll get on a witness stand. I know for a fact that she worked for him because I have the receipts, the email exchanges between him but at that time he didn't know that. he did not know that we had the actual email exchanges and stuff, because she sent that and it made its way. So email exchanges between her and, you know, people trying to get properties, you know, places for him to have the dining with diarrhea event. And on top of that, him engaging. So there were email exchanges between the two of them as well. So she clearly was working, you know, for him or whatever. But again, that's the grift. Like, when you're telling the truth, I'm going to try to make you look crazy. I'm going to try to discredit your truth. Like, what proof do you have that she didn't work for you? We got proof she worked for you, though.
Can I finish saying it? Can I finish saying it? Can I finish saying it?
Yes, and we gonna pay that $10,000 from that Airbnb that you having people book your events at have these events at.
So you believe somebody who says she worked for me?
You
and you don't see any
$10,000. I contacted Airbnb. There you go.
Where?
Andrew. I'm not trying to out
Andrew, what is it, bro?
Pay the people.
At first it was, I don't pay
you got
employees.
all these millions of dollars, but you're not paying nobody, and your Range Rover came from CarMax.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
But we buy Range Rovers new or used, and we go to the Range Rover dealership.
No. We never buy cars brand new. A car is a depreciating asset, number one. We never buy a car brand new.
You run it state to state.
I've been...
You own all these cars.
I'm on tour, Andrew. I'm on tour. What do you mean I'm going state to state?
When you wasn't on tour.
I was in Atlanta the whole time. What are you talking about?
Atlanta people is running you out of there. They've been knocking at your door. They found out where you live, and you about to move from Atlanta. You finna move from Atlanta, right?
I sold my house because I made $300,000.
You are a liar now. I'm calling you a liar. Darius, you a liar now. I like you, but you gotta pay my supporters. They are inboxing me like crazy, Darius.
Where's the order?
That's not right. And this is not comedy. If anybody on here laughing is supporting this, you crazy.
Where's the order number?
People, and I just told you, Darius, it hurt my heart.
Your heart could be all you want to without an order.
When you having all this money and you out here running state to state, can't pay the people. You owe the IRS, you owe
I'm going state to state because I'm on tour, bruh.
How you on tour, Darius, when you owe so many people?
Who do I owe? Where are the people?
So now I'm a liar. I'm a delusional.
Andrew, I am on my live stream platform 5 hours a day.
I don't care how if you go.
Ain't nobody came on my live stream talking about I owe them no money. Where are the people?
Okay, you was just on the news in Atlanta for scamming.
No, I was not on the news for scamming. I was on the news for
They knocked at your door. They knocked at your door, the news people.
But I thought I was running from state to state. If they found me, I thought I was going state to state.
No, they found you because
you news find me.
It's on the news. Randy, you know Randy that knocked at
Randy Travis, but how the news find me if I'm going state to state?
Darius, pay these people. That's all I gotta say. I'm not
gonna get off topic, but I have the backstory on how the Fox 5 Randy Travis, how he actually found out where Darius was that day. We'll that's gonna be a story time that's coming too in the future.
Here to bash you.
Can you tell me?
No, you got $1.5 million in there. Don't make me go pull judgment.
There's more than that. There's more than that.
I'm finna gather all your employees that you owe, and you finna pay them. From the catering people that you owe $300, from the $20,000 catering truck, and yeah, you did a lot of people dirty, Darius.
You're talking about my ex. You're talking about my ex. Oh, I see what this is going.
So that's supposed to be Vel B, y'all, the X. So you see, now this again happened, I don't know, timeline is, but last spring, let's just say it, that last spring. Now we fast forward to that clip happened, a month or so ago. So you see how the narrative changes. Back then, in order to discredit Vel B, he needed to paint him as what some of us have experienced, which is most of us have experienced dating some crazy people, or, you know, even if it wasn't a long-term relationship or whatever. So some people can identify, or even watching movies and stuff, ooh, the bitter ex. So when you say that, that automatically makes people kind of put up a wall, like, I ain't trying to hear that. Then you, whatever you gonna say, gonna be hateful and da about that person. That's him twisting the narrative. So for the longest, he only called me the ex, or every time he say, yeah, Veil, my ex, because he was trying to discredit me, leaving out the fact that we actually were friends way longer than we actually dated. And we dated when he was like 19, 20, 21, maybe. And then he was almost 30 by the time we stopped being friends. And when he scammed us and ran to Chicago. So does that really sound like an ex? And again, because that was my position, and I tried to express it, but, you know, I'm sorry, that was Veil B's position, and he tried to express it, but, you know, people was like, oh, whatever, you just a jealous ex. And Veil B was saying, no, that was literally how they both thought of each other, him and Darius Crooks. They were just brotherhood at that point. And so now you can see, now that he's laid off the ex thing, like you let a liar talk long enough, they gonna tell the truth. And so now you see, and I have Veil B, he actually has plenty more that actually discredits this narrative that Darius even considered him, Veil B, an ex. He really didn't, but it helps with the narrative to try to discredit him, because he has a lot of truth and knowledge about his past. So
my ex from 16 years ago.
16 years ago. It wasn't 16 years ago even then. It was not. It was I think it was barely crouching on like close to 10 years or whatever. But Veil B, he has like their last communication, email exchanges and stuff. That wasn't 16 years ago. But let's carry on with this lie.
That's salty. Okay, sure. A scorned ex is always a great partner.
You used him.
He sure did, Andrew. He used Veil B, but Veil B is better for it.
Remember, you didn't have a car for a long time, and he drove you around.
I lived in New York, Andrew.
So again, when we talk about narrative twisting, Andrew calls out another fact that Veil B shared at some point, I guess, that he drove Darius Crooks around before he was Darius Crooks, when he was just DTW. Drove him around to grocery stores and whatever else he needed, errands, all kind of stuff. Because Veil B always was an entrepreneur. So had multiple, you know, he had a lot of flexibility in his world. And so, and he did a lot to help Darius in the very beginning when Darius was starting with Everyday Cooking. Everyday Cooking was actually the name of the brand before there was a Darius Cooks, which y'all know him as Darius Cooks. And before the Darius Crooks name moniker was put on him, it was just Everyday Cooking with Darius T. Williams. And so Veil B was around for that video footage, and, you know, he was the videographer, all that good stuff. So around during that time, he was driving, Darius Crooks around, and just, you know, it was his brother, and his brother was on the grind, and he has always been kind of a helpful person. He's a giving person. Has a servant heart. That's just always been how Veil B has been. Y'all can see a little bit of that through those y'all who've been around. Y'all can see that in the videos and stuff. But anyway, but you see this liar say, I was in New York. I ain't need no car. Veil B ain't never lived in New York. Veil B has been to New York three times. Veil B has been to New York 3 times. Each time they're no longer than 3-4 days. So what the F you talking about? You're lying. You're capping. So, but again, twisting the narrative, because the truth is he will interweave the truth within his lies. The truth is he didn't have a car in New York and didn't need a car, you know, living in Jersey, whatever, commuting into New York, didn't have a car, didn't need a car. We all know that. But that wasn't what Veil B was talking about. Veil B was talking about Chicago, when you lived in Chicago and you had got your neon was it Dodge Neon? Dodge Neon had got repossessed. That you had bought when you were 19, probably barely had it a year. That got repossessed, and then you didn't have a car for a very long time until you, I forgot, it was some kind of old car. I don't know if it was an Impala or something like that. It seemed like it was an old big car. That's vague memory. Because I knew of him back then, so that's barely, as me as Velnito. But he didn't have a car, and so Vel drove him around then when he lived on what was that, Warren? You lived on Warren. Vel drove you around, Vel B drove you around. Then you lived on Kingston. I remember when you also hearing about you getting evicted from that apartment. That was, I think they almost had to strong arm you to get you out of that one. That was a beautiful apartment though. That was actually an apartment that Everyday Cooking started. That's where the YouTube channel started, in that apartment. And then he moved up. That's why it started in that apartment on Kingston. From Kingston, he moved on Warren. That's what it was. So anyway, we got video footage of all that. So anyway, just a little background on that. So again, he interweaves, bits of the truth, but that has nothing to do with what Andrew was talking about. He's trying to discredit Andrew, but Andrew is telling the truth. Vel B did drive Darius around because Darius had no car in Chicago, where you really should have a car. You kind of need a car if you can do it. But again, humble beginnings. Darius Crooks now showing 1.5 million in his bank account, want to act like he never knew a day where he couldn't even afford to keep the payments on a Dodge Neon.
You are a former. You are there. So it's funny about this.
I lived in New York. No, I didn't have a car living in New York.
Why was your bunk case old, and why you had a bird flying around in your store? And why you had all that trash in your store?
What store did I have?
Darius, now
I have an order number.
So again, because Andrew doesn't have all the pieces, what store did I have, Andrew? Well, you had the Cupcake Gallery. That's a store. That was a storefront. Also, Uptown Pies, which was located in the Cupcake Gallery. It was the same place. In order to finagle out of paying your investors, you ended up, the 60 plus investors I was just telling y'all about, who helped him even get that place. In order to scam from having to pay them, he created Uptown Pies within the same building, the same storefront, same restaurant. So now he's selling two different products. He's selling the cupcakes, which was the original business, and he's then selling pies. But he's telling the investors that, well, he created even two signs. If you look at some of the old videos, you'll see that, where it has the storefront, it shows the pictures of the outside, and you see the Uptown Pies awning right next to the Cupcake Gallery awning. It's all in the same location. And what he did was told them, no, this is a totally separate business. And so the profits I get from the pies, that's not the same as the profits y'all getting from the Cupcake Gallery. And so he that's crazy. These people are crazy. But he ended up, that was his way of trying to get out of paying them. And then what he was telling them is that the Cupcake Gallery wasn't even producing a profit. And then, he was blocking them and ignoring them. Vel B's best male friend, still, he was on Darius's tail. And so for a little while, Darius was giving him the run around and, oh, I'm having a hard time kind of thing. Then he'll send him $100 here, $200 or whatever here or there. So I forgot exactly how much he invested, but he got part of it back, but he didn't get the whole thing. And again, that was what, I don't know, 15 years. I don't even know how long ago that was now. What? I don't know. I can't do the math in my head real quick with all I got going on. But anyway, he still ain't seen that money, and it's been over a decade for sure. And so, yeah, that's not a mistake. And then, he has $1.5 million supposedly. So why not make these people whole again? Yeah, asking you shall receive. But I think with that, because of the time and all of that, I'm going to just jump into the comments. Just wanted to kind of give that Vel B was telling me don't go too long, like I like I did last night. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my start. It's so many comments. I know I'm missing so much good stuff, but I'm doing this by myself tonight, so we'll work with what we can. So let's see. We have some comments. James Hudson is saying, Darius by out here scamming these people with private Airbnb dinners. Yeah. That's the current grift, but he's given up on that grift now because the heat getting too hot. He's given up on that now because he wasn't able to sell out this 2023. So he's not even going to try for 2024. His new grift is going to be something pertaining to that the adult toy line that also comes from Alabama. So if y'all really want it, you can just buy it directly from there. Even some of the stuff people have found on Amazon as well, like those glasses. We'll do a video on that as well. So Andrew is a pathetic liar. He is entertaining with his stupidity. Okay, that's a perspective. Latanya is saying, I remember that issue they had. Andrew's fans purchased things from Darius and they found out that he was a scammer because they never received their items. Yeah, so yeah. Hey hacks. Yeah, hey hacks. I don't know if they still in here. That was probably way too much for them. Too much information, too much truth. They're not used to hearing truth. So you give them that much, it's overkill. They probably overdosing on the truth now. Laid up in the corner shaking. Yeah, hey flying monkeys. You always have the funniest still photos of him. Like that one. That one. And so again, this is what I'm saying, that when he was larger here though. I will say he was larger here. I don't think we were talking at this point. I don't think so. But this is what I'm supposed to be obsessed with. This is supposed to be why I'm in love and haven't moved on from that, from 20 years ago or whatever. Yeah, because we met in 2000, either 2000 or 2001 is when we met. So from then, I'm supposed to be me. And that, what? Make it make sense. I'll wait. Okay. You have always, okay, we did that. You with them damn arms. You don't like this? I wish I could spread my arms out more, but you know, they more like bats. They got little short arms. They ain't doing too much. Velnito, you're doing too much. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm sharing the information that I'm supposed to share. And I'm finally saying some stuff that Vel B sitting there trying to be too professional to say. You got to take that filter off more. Andrew did the same thing to people, familiar spirits. Yeah, I keep hearing that. Nicole is saying, I just LOL at the flying and falling over. That live was hilarious AF. Yes, so last night live, if you missed it, definitely check it out. It was a good time for sure. Okay, I'm gonna jump to some of the newer because I was starring like all along the way. Priscilla is saying, report him to the Better Business Bureau. Priscilla, I feel like I've seen you before, Priscilla. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's a different Priscilla. But Priscilla, are you aware that the Better Business Bureau actually put out a public notice warning? Because people have done this. So this is not a new or unique suggestion. This is actually very elementary of a suggestion for something this grand that we're talking about. So it kind of gives me DHAG vibes and uneducated, which usually coincide with each other. A DHAG and being uneducated, mindless, cult member, because this has been done. And if you wake the F up, you would realize that it has been done, and that the Better Business Bureau of the state of Georgia actually put out a public notice warning people, the public, to not do business with Darius Cooks. They warned the public, and that's unique. Now they'll grade these businesses, and you'll see businesses with F ratings and all of that. But what you don't see is the Better Business Bureau being like, now we know he has a cult following, and we know he has mindless people who will make suggestions that are very elementary because they choose ignorance over educating themselves or even just opening their eyes. So we're going to put out a public notice in order to at least try to help them. But then yet, we still see things like this. This is Velnito talking. Y'all remember Vel B, he don't do that. He don't drag the audience. Y'all know that. Y'all know he don't do that. I on the other hand, got time. Yep, the facts, he do a lot of people get on his nerves. Sometimes he'll act. Yep, that's the fact. He do that a lot with people when people get on his nerves, and sometimes he'll act a fool and then block them. So what Sharon is saying is the fact that he will Darius Cooks, where he's claiming, I don't block people unless they do something to me. It literally could be somebody asking a question like, what city you in? I ain't got time today, blocked. And then he'd be like, what you need to be concerned with is how your eyebrows ain't arched right, or that red lipstick that ain't working with your lips. Like, he'll drag them and then hit the block button. To me, it's a punk ass way to be, because of the fact that you're doing that and then you don't allow them to reply because you block them. Whereas me, Velnito, I just, commented to whoever that was, and I didn't block them. They're free to respond. And if that was a misunderstanding, that they're not ignorant, that it was a suggestion based on a lack of knowledge, which is ignorance, they can comment and let me know that. Or they can let me know that they were trolling, and, and then everything I said stands. Key got jokes. She confronted you about a refund. So how is that wrong? Yeah, talking about Kim just asking for a refund, inquiring, because she didn't demand it. She didn't say you better and how horrible you are, which, she could have, because it's true. Somebody's saying public notice. What? Hold on a second. It's so much, y'all. It's so much. Hold on. I'm gonna play a commercial, and then I'm gonna play this for y'all, and I'm gonna pull up, because sometimes people think I'll be making this stuff up. I don't know why. You look at the rest of my content, I ain't made nothing else up, so why would I make this up? And I'm not gonna play this whole thing, but just keep y'all busy for a second. Give me a second to pull something.
Yeah. So I am going to have, what's the Oak City basket? What's that? What happens if I don't like oysters, if I get the Oak City basket? Can we substitute with something else?
I don't think we're supposed to substitute.
You don't think you're supposed to substitute?
Yes. It's like my third day.
Your third day. Gotcha. He seems like he knows a little more. Yes, can we ask him? We gotta ask him, see what he said.
He actually going to try to change the order.
You think anybody back there would know? They knew too?
At the same time I did.
So everybody knew around here. All right, let's do this. It's probably best to get the Oak City basket. So I'm gonna do the Oak City basket. Ask them to hold the oysters for me, please.
All right, you want a large or a small?
Oak City basket. It comes. Doesn't it just come one size, or does it come?
No, it comes the large or the small.
Okay, if I'm getting everything, then let's do a small. How about I do that?
All right.
This is third day.
Substitute the oysters for something else?
Yeah, I do actually. Maybe calamari could be a good idea.
All right.
If you could do that, would be great. So with the basket, do I get the, do you know if I get the hush puppies too or no?
Yes, hush puppies do come with it.
Okay, hush puppies come with it. It's a whole food haul.
Actually, they don't.
They don't. That's fine. No, that's fine. So I'll do that. I'll do an order of the hush puppies. And it doesn't seem like this comes with the lobster tail.
Oh, no.
So why don't I do a small on the lobster tail? And that covers every... What kind of fish is it? Do we know? Whiting. Okay, so then...
All right, so there was questions like shock of the Better Business Bureau warning. I said public notice. I'm being nice. I should have said the correct word. Warning to consumers that Darius Cooks LLC customers fail to receive goods. The consumers tell the Better Business Bureau, and then they go on. And I'm not going to, just because of the sake of time and all that, I'll just read this first one, but to show you that there's a full public warning from the Better Business Bureau. It says the Better Business Bureau advises consumers to use caution when doing business with Darius Cooks LLC. I'm sorry, I'm so used to saying his actual name, Darius Cooks. But it says the Georgia-based company that is an online retailer of books, cookbooks, apparel, and accessories, and the business owner, Darius Williams. Over 70 consumers reported to the Better Business Bureau that the company failed to deliver products ordered by their customers, did not provide requested refunds, did not communicate reasons for shipping delays, and provided poor customer service. I got this comment in the way. Hold on. Darius Cooks LLC has an F rating, the lowest BB on the BBB scale, due to his recent unanswered complaints. And so it then also goes on, and I'm not going to read them though, but it goes on to show examples of the complaints from the customers. I actually have a video on this too. Yeah, I did a video on that. So I know everybody don't see everything. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So we have that. And what Darius Cooks did, like he's done with other, anytime he's called out, he, because this again is a hard hit for the Better Business Bureau of Georgia to be like, warning, we're warning y'all now. Yet we still got the hags like, where's the evidence? Where are the people? Repeating his narrative. Where are the people? Better Business Bureau got 70 right there. And those are, y'all already know, like, it usually takes a certain person to even go to that level to even report stuff to the Better Business Bureau. So if there are 70 who went that far, that's a very small percentage of the whole. So it's probably 700 who got scammed. That's just how that works, percentage wise. So anyway, he ended up creating a t-shirt line for that as well. Remember last night I was telling y'all that he created the Queenish and Kingish t-shirt line. And when I was telling somebody that story earlier today, they were like, doesn't somebody else have that t-shirt line? And I was like, the funny thing is it did sound familiar, but I wasn't deep thinking because, so many layers to this scampire that I can't focus on everything. But y'all let me know. Y'all look it up and let me know if y'all see any other brands with Queenish and Kingish, because he probably copied that too. I wouldn't be surprised because that's what he does. But anyway, what he did was he created a t-shirt line. This is the Queenish t-shirt line. He created that for Juanito. When the Better Business Bureau called him out, he created a BBBD's Nuts t-shirt and hoodie line too. And guess who bought it, y'all? The hacks. The Better Business Bureau, an organization dedicated to protecting consumers, has warned you about your predatory leader, cult leader. And your answer is, they haters, they going on gossip. What? The Better Business Bureau? Okay, maybe. Okay, fine. I'm gonna let you go with maybe the Black Enterprise for some reason, some odd reason with this particular person decided to become a gossip blog or gossip magazine for this one article. Okay, I'm gonna give you that one. And then, Southern Grit. I'm gonna give you that. Forbes magazine even. Yeah, Forbes magazine decided just for this one particular oddity. Just, they were, being lazy. They just decided to go with gossip that time and not and get rid of their journalistic integrity just for that article. Both Black Enterprise and, just for those. They threw out their internal journalistic integrity just for those articles. The Better Business Bureau, though, y'all. Literally, they built their foundation on protecting consumers. So anyway, he created, I don't have that here, that screenshot here, but he created, wait, which one is this? Oh, so he created the Better Business Bureau, the BBBD's nuts. They were buying them. They were buying those t-shirts because it's like, ooh, they trying to call you out. I know how to get them. Let's prove to them that you're rich. So we're going to give you money. We're going to give you our money. So then, and remember, these are drop ships. So he actually does not deliver these. So they get these. And then I got my t-shirts. Well, that's because he's not handling that. Then the other thing was that when the narrative of him being a scammer really started to take off, all the public attention around it. Again, he's a stunt queen and he's a good marketeer in that sense. That, well, I mean, it's kind of basics of marketing, to be honest. Like he tries to own the narrative that has been put out there. Once he sees that it's starting to build up, some momentum. And so he had t-shirts saying "Sue me or shut up." Again, he's a slippery snake. It's not just, for one, who's going to sue him over, $50. Kim is out of, $600, but the effort and the energy that it would take to go to court to try to get that $600, she'll spend more in time and effort and emotional pain and suffering than that $600, than to just kind of go on, try to move forward and have people, who have a heart and have tried to, send, love offerings and all of that stuff, and just using it as a lesson learned. Same with me. I mean, he owed me thousands, but it wasn't worth it in the end. I did consult myself, and I'm sorry, Vel B did look into suing Darius over the food truck thing, because he literally just straight up stole money and forged signatures and stuff. So they did, him and the other business partner did look into an attorney. They consulted one, and the attorney was telling them, for one, it was a $3,000 retainer, and maybe he owed them maybe 10 grand each or so, something like that. So maybe 20 grand. So they would have had to pay $3 just as a retainer. That's not for the whole thing. And then on top of that, then you got to chase him down, because at that point he had disappeared. He had run off to New Jersey. They didn't know it at the time. They didn't know where he went. They just knew he had escaped Chicago. Had left his business, the Cupcake Gallery and stuff, just walked away. He walks away from all their grifts, their Ponzi scheme. So that's what scammers do. They just walk away from them. They don't shut them down properly. What was that? Carolina Pound Cake Company, the more recent scam from a year or so ago, when that place, he just walked away from it. There's somebody who went there. They have video footage of how he just left all the pots and pans and all of that stuff. It's just there. Yeah. So, so that when he says sue me or shut up, it's not always a viable option, especially, and even me talking about a situation that was nearly maybe 20,000 wasn't worth it in the end, because we had already lost that money, and it was like, why put in more money? Because for one, you had to chase him down, try to get him served. We had no idea where he was. They had no idea. Vel B and the other partner had no idea where he was. The other piece is we're talking about back then. Want to remind you that we're talking about this Darius Crooks before the side profile pic. That one, they had no money. That one was broke. That one had filed 3 bankruptcies or whatever, and was getting evicted constantly and didn't have a car at the time. No, he had a car at the time. He had a car by then. He used some of the money he had been stealing from the food, from the Fresh Go scam and all that, to buy a vehicle and stuff. So anyway, the sue me or shut up, that's, but that's the flying monkeys. Why y'all don't just sue him? Sue him. Get some education, learn the law, get some common sense. Oh, it's right here. You know what? It's so small that y'all can't really see it, but this, oh, y'all can't see what I'm pointing at either. Nope. The one at the bottom right in the black shirt, that one says BBBD's nuts. And then you see him trying to own the scammer. So like, you know, excuse me, y'all. The hags will say, ooh, I just left dining with diarrhea and it was the best scam ever. Thank you so much for scamming me, Darius. I can't wait till the next time I get scammed. Or they done bought some pots and pans and or dildos and Dutch ovens, and they like, ooh, I just got 60% off of something you mark up 600%. Thank you so much for scamming me, Darius Crooks. I can't wait to get the next scam. In reality, you are getting scammed. The joke's on you. The joke is really on you. So anyway, this other t-shirt, so that's him trying to own the scammer name. So as I've said before, I'm sorry, Vel B said before, this is only our second time talking. As Vel B has said before, it's almost like the N-word, how at a certain point, you know, Black people kind of took ownership of that word and started using it as terms of endearment and all of that to take the power away from the people who were saying it as a derogatory thing. Well, that's what he's doing with scammer, because scammer is not a flattering word to be called. It's actually offensive. It's actually hurtful. But in order to flip the narrative, he did what people do with the N-word. So now, Darius Cooks is my favorite scammer. It's kind of genius in a way, you know. I mean, it's basic marketing stuff still, but this one says at the bottom, it's small for me too, but this one says something about scamming is a vibe. It's literally him admitting that he's a scammer, and they're just like, oh, can I get that shirt in red too? The scamming is a vibe. Or I've been scammed by Darius Cooks. Like, humanity. I'm nervous, y'all. I mean, we did the stories in the very beginning. We've been on here 3.5. Okay, we're doing 3.5 like yesterday, and we done. Vel B don't like when I go over. Vel B really like the 2-hour mark max. So he gonna probably be yelling at me after this. Y'all let him know if you know that it's, you know, defend me, y'all. Defend me. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna move it along because I hear you. Damn. I mean, we got to tell them stuff that you ain't been trying to tell them in all this time. Damn. Okay, and then this was the one that was related to the Andrew Caldwell. So again, Crooks, the grift is he saw this as a marketing opportunity because it was getting so much attention. It had started going viral on the Shade Room and all of that other stuff. And so he saw it as and on top of that, he's trying to do damage control. So he turns it into a t-shirt saying, "Where's your order number? Delivered." So when he does this, it's supposed to hurt the person that he had the conflict with. So in this case, it's supposed to be hurting Andrew because he's been able to scam and grift his own, meaning Darius Cooks has been able to scam and grift his own followers. And that's supposed to hurt the person he had to beef with. Like, he's like, look at him. How dare he come at me? I got this t-shirt for y'all. And then they like, see, we finna make you richer to prove to them that you're not a scammer. What? Wait a minute. You're making money off of our mindlessness. And then when you get called out, then we give you more money. Wait a minute. Like, it never adds up to them, though. It never adds up for them. You gotta love it. I tell y'all, it's a case study, though. It truly is. It's a case study. Okay, so I'm gonna do some comments and then I'm gonna get out. I hear you. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna do some comments and then I'm gonna have to let y'all go because he all antsy. He's talking about I ain't even eat dinner. He's talking about all he had was a bowl of cereal. That ain't my fault. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna do the live comments because it's been so long with some of those other ones. Jeez, it's a lot of comments, y'all. Just well, I don't know, y'all. It's hard for me to do this like this. Yeah, it's hard because y'all talking to each other and all of that. They found him at a verbal, I thought. Yes. So so this was part of it too. Hey you there. They did find him at a verbal. And if y'all got questions and stuff, put them now, like put them in the chat now, because I'm gonna just do the newer comments from this one on. And so if you said something a long time ago that you wanted me to see, do it now, and then I'll be able to catch it. But yes, he was originally renting at the Airbnbs and or the Airbnbs as Andrew calls them. But he did lose that, and Randy Travis at Fox Atlanta was able to verify with Verbo. They did confirm that Darius had been suspended from Airbnb. Darius claims, it's just made up. It's just made. Randy Travis, Fox Atlanta, like a veteran news reporter, award-winning, making it up because of Darius. Like, why would he hate Darius? He don't care about Darius. Darius said that he only did the story for clicks and views because he doesn't have a large. So Randy Travis doesn't have a large social media following, so he wanted to get more engagement. So that's why he made up this stuff about Darius. And they bought it. I mean, I could see them buying it for, buying that BS for somebody at my level. I get almost, okay, I'm like, okay, I get that to y'all. Y'all don't know of me. The public doesn't really know me like that. So if he puts that on me, that I'm just doing it for clout and trying to grow off of him, because I was even smaller back then. He didn't grow this channel. Trust me. Again, this is the house that Sweetie Pie has built. This is the channel. Well, this one over here is the channel. Well, hell, both. Because of Welcome to Sweetie Pies and the Tim Norman trial is what made me be interested in doing true crime, which is a part of our Reality Chronicles channel. Darius Cooks is like a blip on the map of this channel, like when it comes to video views and all of that. He ain't nan one of his videos hit no hundreds of thousands of views. And I have many videos who have hit hundreds of thousands of views. So anyway, moving on. I don't know, Toys B Starlight, at what point I was at when you said yes, I need to hear. I kind of vaguely remember seeing that when I was saying something. Now I can't remember. That's on me. I can't remember. Hey, well, we've been talking anyway. I've been reading your comments. Narcissistic AF. If you know, you know. Yeah, and some people don't know how to identify it. I've just unfortunately had so many experiences with narcissists. I think on some level I honestly think it's part of my personality as a server who makes it where takers are attracted to that. And so I've ended up in a lot of situations with narcissists. And then doesn't help that, I grew up with one. Not gonna drag my parents, but not my mom, but what? Anyway, saying too much. I've had a lot of experience from a very long time. Now that I can identify it, I know. And I wasn't saying that my mom was that person. For clarity. Was it Benito that gave Fox the tip? No, it wasn't me who gave Fox 5 the tip. It actually it was Darius Cooks himself trying to be braggadocious and be big and bad on the internet, trying to go back and forth with Natalie Lawyer Chick. So some of you know Natalie Lawyer Chick, the YouTuber. She's actually a real attorney, defense attorney, and she has a YouTube channel, and she started covering Darius as well. And he then started trying to harass her, and the hags were harassing her as well on Twitter and stuff. And so there was some back and forth, and she was saying, well, they trying to serve you, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, they trying to serve me. Everybody keeps saying somebody trying to serve me and this and that. Quit talking and do it. And she's like, well, where you at? So him being a smart ass gave his address of the Airbnb that he was currently at that night for the Dining with Darius event. And so word spread to the correct people who were behind the scenes. And it was like, boop, 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 boop. Randy Travis, this is where he at. Because Randy Travis was working on the story and just waiting for an opportunity to come to his face. I don't have nothing. Do my water bottle. Coming to his face like, Darius, do you have anything to say about the allegations of you being a scammer and having these illegal events? And then he's like, I'm going to call my lawyer. Talk to my lawyer. That's the clip that I have in the one of the trailers. Shit, I can't remember. Wait, let me see. This one here. Ain't it? So everything acts so slow over these internet streets. And of course, I'll continue to share those with you. So definitely hit that follow button.
Like the actions you do on the internet, somebody's screen recording that, somebody watching that, you know?
And he is very correct. That was Randy Travis segment 2. I think that was the second one because Randy Travis did, I think, 2 different newscast segments on him. It's at least 2, if not 3, but definitely at least 2. There's always someone screen recording and watching to continue. So this is the moment. You remember that, Darius? You can see it in your eyes. You was like, oh shit, this is getting real. They showing up where I'm at. So him trying to be a badass. Randy Travis was given the information. Randy Travis was like, I'm on it. And he was on the 6 o'clock news. You gotta love it. Quit playing people's face. Quit playing at people's face. Yes, it is for sure. It is a dumpster fire. Lord have mercy. Yes, Scooby-Doo. Andrew did do his homework. Unfortunately, I'll give him a C+. He really got a C in understanding. I give him a plus because of the effort he put into it. And he really was going hard with what he thought he knew. So I give him a C+. Okay. Say Drewski is hashtag Team Vel. And don't forget about me, Velnito. We're not the same person, so please don't forget about me, Velnito. Now Tootie telling the truth, right? It's all this deflection from Darius for me. Yeah, it was full of. I mean, we have, and I'm gonna do some more, deep dive breakdowns of these occasions like this one, and like when he went on Larry Reed Live, and when he went on the Shade Room, did that interview with them. Now they called it out themselves, but there are some other pieces that they kind of let slide that I want to add the receipts in to debunk the lies. And then the Wild It show, where he was on there actually a month or 2 ago. Over there lying, just like crazy. His motto is, how can I separate these fools from their money? I love that. I might need to put that as one of the titles. I'm gonna remember this one. Well, when I rewatch, I'm gonna jot this down in my notes. This might become one of a title of a video or something, or a chapter of a video. It says, what is his middle name? So meaning Darius T. Williams, you want to know his middle name is Travoy. Travoy. Was it? Off the top of my head right now, I'm tired now, so I can't spell it on the top of my head. But it's Travoy. But choice B, I mean, it could be travesty too. Darius Travesty Williams. I love y'all. I'm writing that down too. Darius, take your money, Crooks. I love y'all so much. Who get a Dodge Neon repossessed? It was a cheap car. Yeah. That was the car he had when I met him. He had a Dodge Neon. Treasonous. Darius Treasonous Williams. This is a marathon read tonight. Well, that's what I do as Benito. So anytime you see me appear, just know that my approach is a lot. It's different. I'm just no hose barred. I'm just gonna, speak unfiltered. Why be filtered when it comes to a predator who's never filtered, the predator it's been dragging Vel B, my road dog, for well over 2 years, really longer than that, to be honest. And that's the other piece. Well, I'll tell y'all, I don't hold nothing back. He's actually been talking about Vel B for the whole, 10 years or so that they weren't talking. Vel B didn't know that because Vel B had moved on with his life. But Darius Crooks, y'all already saw how enamored he is with Vel B and how he longs and yearns for their previous relationship before his sociopathic behavior ended it. And
in Chicago, you just end up with a tribe of people. I don't know.
You see the glaring in his eyes as he's longing for the relationship that he ruined with Vel B. And so, those are things that, although he presents something else, when he's trying to make it like Vel B is lying. Now, me, on the other hand, I'm just gonna lay it all out. I have no filter. He be reading LSA. Darius Crooks. Well, are you talking about me, Velnito, or Vel B, or are you talking about Darius Crooks? What I will say to this question is it applies to all three, meaning all three, yes. Darius Crooks definitely reads LSA. Darius Crooks has actually commented on LSA even as far back as 2014 when they started really going in and dragging him and exposing him. He would actually come in the comments and try to fight with people and try to silence them there, but that didn't work. They've only thrived since. Them cakes, Steven. Yep. Takes folks' money. That's his middle name. Darius takes folks' money, Williams. He would probably have his coffin repossessed. Yeah, I mean, when we talk about what, God is really gonna, how this is gonna end, I do believe we're gonna see some stuff we ain't never seen before as far as when God says, well done with this situation. I hate every time I click out of here, it throws that off. Man, I had a good flow going too. Nicole, you're here for Vel and Velnito. Thank you. Because what we don't want to happen is what happens with Darius. And Vel ain't that type. Vel B, he not that type. But Darius Crooks never likes anyone else to get any shine. And so when you see him around anyone who has a true gift, talent, and charisma, and people are interested in all of that, what he then does is does horrible things to them behind the scenes, becomes a predator, sociopath, and then he'll make it where they he eliminates them. He gets rid of them. Vel B, he ain't like that. So you ain't got to worry about him and I fighting for who gonna get the most camera time and all that. We not like that. We're normal humans. We're healthy. That eagle on the federal building is going to swoop his asterisk up. TikTok. Exactly. Darius is like Satan. He comes to ill, steal, and destroy. Get back, Satan. Stay under my feet in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more at the it's so many. I hate I can't really dig into it because our comments will be another like 2 hours. I can tell just from what I'm seeing. Free Velnito. I'm out the basement now. I think we good, right? Am I doing okay? Okay. He said I did. I'm doing okay. Okay. Donald Davis must be a beehiver. I still haven't. I gotta sit down and think about the name for the male hags. Vel, FYI, Corey is working for Darius on. Oh, thank you, Don, for this, because I saw this in the replay that explained the pieces that I didn't know about the Corey and Darius thing. So Corey, see, I hate clicking out of here because then it's gonna, I think, get this comment lost. But Corey was the guy I talked about yesterday, who is potentially going to be a bartender for Darius. So Darius is having something. I just found this out through, I think it was Don's comment from yesterday. that Darius is having something in Chicago on Thanksgiving, and it's a one-time occasion, and Corey is going to be the bartender. Corey is not charging anything for travel, so I heard. Oh, Corey's not here though. So yeah, see, Corey's thinking he's gonna come up and it's gonna get him some notoriety, and Darius is getting over on him. So he's probably practically working for free. I'm sure he's working under scale. Now you're saying here, allegedly he's not charging even for his travel. So he's about to spend his money to travel for free in hopes that Darius's followers will patronize him and all of that. What might happen is Darius will find some issue with him and then drag him after the dinner service is done. And then the D-Hags will harass him and his followers. So we'll see. We'll see. He may, because it's a one-time event, possibly get away unscathed. Maybe. He may feel a ways behind the scenes when nothing comes of it, but he might come out unscathed, possibly, with the exception of that. Says, I gotta go, but love you. Hope to see you soon, Velnito. Yes, I will be back next week when we go live again. So what we're shooting for, and I've been talking to Vel B about it, is that y'all know how he get with going live. He be having all these issues, and then he come live, and then y'all don't see him for 3-4 weeks in a row. The plan is, and he's trying to do this in a way that he can maintain it for growth and all of that, is that he's going to start trying to go live 3 days a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, because he's lazy. He don't like to start his work week doing something. So Mondays he like to have off. And then I don't care I can tell them this. Mondays he likes to have off. And then Fridays he likes to kind of have not off, but just not have to, do this level of stuff. And then this allows him to do his social media stuff and the deep dive videos and all of that kind of stuff. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are supposed to be live stream days. And so that's what he's shooting for. I'm going to stay on him. The Patreon executives, they've been working with him through stuff because he share more with them. So, we're going to try to get Vel B together. He's not a sociopath. So like he's a normal human. And so he can't constantly be with a camera in his face. That's not him. So he can't go live 15 times a day and lay in the bed and have y'all, looking, well, he ain't got no taco meat on his chest, but he, and crust in his eyes and chewing on food and got crumbs all in his bed. And while he got y'all on live stream, that ain't how he rolls. So it takes more for him. Again, he's just a normal human being. Like he's a person who's healthy. He has healthy relationships around him with other human beings, family, friends. He has his mom. His father unfortunately passed away, but even before that, he's known his father his whole life. So he's a healthy human being mentally. And so he doesn't need the attention of the internet constantly to validate him as a person. He actually gets that from his higher being God, his purpose, his calling. He understands that. And the fact that his soul, he sleeps well at night because he doesn't have a soul full of, he has a fully formed soul. It's not a deficient soul. It's not a soul of a undeveloped fetus. We can surmise at this point that Darius' soul has not, maybe it never transferred to this world. Maybe it's still, in the universe somewhere. And when he maybe was reincarnated as an infant here, his soul didn't come with him. So because of that, Vel is not a person who can constantly be on camera and all of that. He's kind of more low key and all of that, but he enjoys being with y'all. He loves this. He really does. He really enjoys it. He loves the community that he's building with you guys. And so that's another reason why he's got me partnering too, is so that he can continue to bring you content and kind of get out of his shell, so to speak. And Darius knew these things about him as well, because he's not a person who has to have the limelight. But actually, when Crooks knew him back when he was, he looked like that too. Don't get me wrong. That wasn't the picture I was trying to pull up. But when he, here we go. Where is that? No, not that one either. Not that. No, not that picture either. This one. So, you know, when he looked like that, Crooks, when he looked like that, and he knew Vel B way back then, Vel B was actually very low key, shy. He was not a person who would do what we're looking at today. He wouldn't get on camera. Actually, when Darius scammed him, Vel B was actually still closeted. He, you know, family, you know, didn't know. Only close friends knew, even, you know, that he was gay and all of that. And Darius took advantage of that, knowing, just like he does now, like he's, you know, doxed Kim and other, you know, litany, long laundry list of people. He knows that when someone calls him out, he's gonna expose them, you know, tell whatever deep dark secrets they have or whatever. And so for Vel B back then, that was his sexuality. And so Darius Cooks also knew that. And so what happened was, you fast forward, you know, the decade later, 2021, when Vel B, you know, finally spoke out in public, Darius Cooks, the first thing he said in regards to Vel B or speaking out was, "Oh, and I hear my ex, Lavelle, is now joining the people who hate me." So he's outing Lavelle. He didn't say his friend. He said the ex. Again, painting the narrative. So, I don't even know why I said that. You know, I'm Vel Nito. I just get to rambling and just get to, I'm unfiltered. Yeah, I can't help it, y'all. Can't help it. But with that, it has been a great evening with you guys. I'm so happy that Vel has let me out the basement. And that means you'll be seeing a lot more of me. And yeah, I'm gonna close it out for you. Okay. All right. So yeah, that, you know, I hope you've enjoyed your time here. We will see each other on Tuesday. Vel B will be always, you know, interacting on social media like he normally does. There'll still be other pre-recorded videos coming out and all that. He needs time to work on those things. So that's another reason why he's taking, you know, Mondays and Fridays off. You know, he's working on the other content during them days. So, you know, he'll be engaging with y'all, but live streams Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Hold him to that, y'all. Hold him to that. Let him know that y'all interested. So I think that's all. You know, thank everyone. What do you normally do? Oh, you thank everybody. So thank you, everyone. My moderator, or I'm sorry, our moderators. Y'all my moderators too. Vel's moderators, Vel B and our moderators, Alice Blessed Child of God and Don Smith and we've been on here 3.5 hours. So if you were Marianne Coker, I know I saw Marianne, and I'm sorry if I missed anybody. I think Trikesha was there. This is beyond her bedtime. We'd be taking it too long. I know I saw Precious G at some point. So thank you. These are all his road dogs. These are the ladies who be hanging with him tough, day to day, hanging with him tough, and he appreciates that. And yeah, and thank you to everyone else viewing. I really appreciate y'all supporting him. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to share it. He's going to be chopping these up into clips and putting them all over TikTok and everywhere else. He's, you know, we got a plan here. Some stuff is happening. So with that, until next time, what you say you normally? Okay. I'm going to do his saying. I might have my own later. But until next time, until Vel B uploads the next video, make sure to take care and be blessed. Peace.